The heart of your teams, the heart of Michigan. Bally Sports Detroit, the heart of the fan.
Hey, that's a ton. Best running back in the state. Go to me. Let's go. Touchdown.
Darius Taylor does not lack confidence. The Walled Lake senior running back has put up gaudy numbers through his team's first 5 games of the season, but he and the Warriors will face a stiff challenge tonight against Division I power Davison. They've got a dynamic backfield of their own and looking to get back to Ford Field as this program has grown accustomed to in recent years. High school football on Bally Sports Detroit is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Hello, everybody. Great to have you along with us for our Football Fridays Game of the Week. I'm Johnny Kane. This is Rob Rubick. Davison comes in at 4-1. Walled Lake Western unbeaten at 5-0. Shapes up to be a terrific matchup. And when you look at this one, yes, it's only week 6, but this is a game that could have some lasting implications when we get toward playoff time.
It really does. I think for Walled Lake, for the Warriors, it's a win-win, Johnny. They're going to get points, a lot of points, because of Davison's record and Davison's schedule and being a Division I school, even if they lose. Now, obviously, Coach Soroch wants to get the W here today, and he's got a good opportunity to do that because of the dynamic duo that he has of his own.
Well, let's talk about that dynamic duo. Starts really with the quarterback, Drew Viato, and also the talented running back who we just saw, Darius Taylor.
Oh, Drew Viato, I think the number one thing I've noticed about him is how unselfish he is, because he has a big-time arm, Johnny. We've been watching it here, warming up here tonight, and I saw him on film during the course of the week. But he really doesn't demand to throw the ball because he knows he wants to win. If he's going to win, it's going to start with number 1, Darius Taylor. This is a running back heading to Minnesota, one of the top backs, not only in Michigan, but in the Midwest. He's got all the elements to look for. He's got top-end speed, he's got vision, he's got toughness, he's going to break arm tackles. And what I like is the ability to get into a hole and get through a hole, make yourself skinny, and do it with speed and power, and turn a 3-yard gain into a 30-yard gain. So Darius Taylor is everything that P.J. Fleck now, P.J., the Golden Gophers head coach, is looking for.
Yeah, he's a fabulous running back. He's not alone. There's another talented running back or two on the other side. We're looking at Davison. Got a really potent 1-2 punch. We're talking about A.J. Hill and Jalen Flowers.
Oh, Jalen Flowers is 1. A.J. Hill is 6. You add that together, that's 7. Jake Weingart's seen that a lot from these two. And you look, first of all, with Jalen Flowers, he's a very physical back, short in stature, but at 205, 210 pounds at about 5'9". So he's a thickin', and he can really pound you. And he has that ability to bounce into the line of scrimmage and get outside and make a big play out of nothing. A.J. Hill, number 6, you see here on the screen. He just got top-end speed. He gives you that lightning element where I think we look at Flowers, he's a little bit more of that thunder, that power. So a really well-balanced backfield for head coach Jake Weingartz and the Davison Cardinals. So really, really a good matchup, Johnny. But if things go sour and they can't run the ball against the Warriors tonight, Jake Weingartz has a secret weapon, and that is T.R. Armstrong right here. You look at T.R., it's 5'11", 170-pound, two-way starter. Really a lockdown corner and an outstanding receiver. He can take the top off the defense, so a little bit of a security blanket for the Cardinals.
A lot of talent on both sides of the football here tonight. You know, this is a game that these two teams have been looking at as a midway measuring stick. All the hard work during the week leading up is paying off here on Friday night. It's the Football Fridays Game of the Week on Bally Sports. Football Fridays on Bally Sports Detroit are brought to you by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Family is not just the name of our company, but the way we do business. And by your local Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Well, the night has finally arrived. The sun has gone down and the lights have gone up here on a Friday night. Before we get things underway, let's check in with the third member of our broadcast team, Ms. Natalie Kerwin. Nat.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. Now, it's only week 6 of the high school football season, but these teams are treating tonight like they're about to get to Ford Field. Walled Lake Western undefeated at 5-0. Davison, always a perennial powerhouse, sitting at 4-1. Now, after speaking to both coaches earlier this week, they are treating this week like it's any other game, but the intensity, it's turned up just quite a bit. Darius Taylor, Drew Viato told me the same thing, and here's how Drew had to sum it up.
And I think this week is really like a state semifinal game or a state championship game, because Davison is a team that makes it there a lot. So there'll be a good test for us, and in week 6 to play a real playoff game is exciting.
And here we go, Drew Viato looking on as Walled Lake Western will kick the football away, and we're moments away from starting this football game. Davison back to return. That's Buddy Williams, the talented kick returner, just a junior, but he's got lightning speed. Max Kurt kicks it away, short kick, and that was going to be corralled at the 33-yard line. So Davison going to get ideal starting field position. They stayed away from Buddy Williams there on the opening kick. And now it'll be the Cardinals who possess the football, and they will be led by the talented quarterback, Braylen Himmelein, the senior. Take a look at his size and stature. Look what he's done. 65% completing of his passes, already north of 1,000 yards on the year. 11-4 touchdown interception ratio is good. Also can be a threat when needed to run with the football. And they will go 4 wide on the opening snap of the football game. Out of the shotgun. Himmelein hands the football off, and that is A.J. Hill. Makes the first man miss, picks up about 9 yards on first down. This Davison offense is pretty good. I mentioned only one blemish coming into tonight. That was in week 2 against Detroit Catholic Central. They got some big boys up front. Flynn Crystal, Brady Harrison, Hayden Anderson, Jackson Rice, and Ben Nichols on the right side. And the running back, Jalen Flowers, Bryce Fortune tight end, Zach Papadakis in the slot, Henry Karstarfin and Tion Armstrong. Keep your eyes on him, number 5 on the outside. They are going to give him a first down there, so you got second one on the screen, but the chain crew here says it's 1st and 10.
Loading up the box right now. They got 8 inside.
There they hand the football off. And with a little running room around the right side. Look out! Inside the 20-yard line before he's finally knocked out of bounds. That's Jalen Flowers, the senior. Big burst. Flowers got to the edge, and he is inside the red zone for the Cardinals.
We're going to take a look here, Johnny, and this is what I said. We're trying to get this real quick. You can see all the gray shirts in here. So great call by Weingart's getting it to the edge. You're a little jet outside with Flowers. He shows, we talked in the pregame about how he is stacking power, but he's got a good top end as well. He almost breaks this.
Good block on the outside. You saw from Tion Armstrong to help spring him. Ball's going to be placed at the 16-yard line. They're going to spread out again. They bring back A.J. Hill in the backfield. Play action now gives it to Hill. And Hill met up the middle. Good chunk gain on first down. That'll bring up 2nd and 5.
How nice is that? What a luxury. Your tailback just peels off like a 50-yard run. He's gas. He's sucking it. Okay, you put in the other one. It's just as good. A little 1-2 punch for head coach Jake Weingers. Look at Jake. Did some really good things at Davison. He had a nice career coaching in Lapeer prior to that, and now he's really created a upper echelon program in Davison.
Yeah, it's a luxury to have with a couple talented backs in Hill and Flowers. Again, rotating fresh bodies, and that's something this Walled Lake Western defense is going to have to contend with all night long. 2nd and 5 play action. Looking for Tion Armstrong, underthrew it. That'll bring up 3rd down.
We're looking on the defensive side right now for Walled Lake Western, the Warriors. Some players that are really going to have to be big here tonight. It starts with Michael Bailey, the linebacker. He's going to be, if you want to find the ball in this game, you find number 6. He'll take you to Rackner, the other linebacker, 51. They're going to make the plays. Defensive line job, keep your offensive linemen engaged, let the linebackers flow and make the plays.
Bailey, first year with the program.
3rd and 5, Johnny. I think Weingart's in this situation. This is probably 4-down territory. If you get a positive play, you don't get positive yardage, look for a field goal attempt.
And Henry Karstarfin Lined up wide, right about the 10-yard line. Tian Armstrong just inside of him. Play action, rolling, and looking for A.J. Hill in the end zone. Incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down. Decision time for Jake Weingart. You say they go?
I'm thinking he kicks it. And that's why I'm not a head coach of Davison. He's going to go for it. Now look for a hard count in this situation.
Put you on the spot.
Well, I think he also may feel that this could be a high-scoring game. Now, he's got an opportunity to get 7 when he's down here in the red zone, but he's gone 2 plays in a row, getting nothing, trying to throw the football. So he tries to sneak a run in here.
On 4th down, trying to draw him off sides. Now looks back to the sideline.
He almost did.
The running back is Jalen Flowers, number 1. And they're going to call timeout, make sure they get this play call correct. Jake Weingart's making sure, hey, early on in this game, very important play. Let's make sure we talk it over. We'll burn one of our timeouts early.
Well, I think he knew he was going to make a timeout before that play was called. He's going to get a look at what they're going to do. He maybe throw a dummy formation offensively just to see how they're going to adjust. And we're going to take a look here at Coach Siroch. Corey, the head coach right there in the headset on inside. You got to take a look inside there a little bit, but really nice talking to him yesterday, Johnny. You were on the call, very forthcoming, likes his opportunities. He knows he's a little bit of the Samson and Goliath here that he feels, or David and Goliath rather, that he's not Samson. David and Goliath, where
which book was that one in?
Johnny, I went to Catholic school, so leave me alone. Anyways, little David and Goliath, where he feels he's Can I finish my thought, please?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, David and Goliath, where he feels that he's much smaller school, but he wants to use this as a barometer, a measuring stick, because he thinks his program is pretty good right now. And he said, if we're going to find out, there's no better way than play one of the top D1 programs in the state.
I knew what you were saying, partner.
Okay.
4th and 5, out of the timeout. Jalen Flowers, the senior running back, flanked to the right of Braylen Himmelein.
Look at the stemming, a lot of stemming defensively. I like it.
Back to pass, underneath Tian Armstrong. Ball comes loose. And Himmelein able to fall on top of it at the 30-yard line. That's going to be a turnover. And Walled Lake Western, this crowd is into it.
A lot of things go wrong here. Number 1 is, I think Tian Armstrong, if doesn't make a move, he's going to be close to the sticks for a first down. He drives about the 6-7 yard line. That's a first down. Just go down there, have better awareness. Instead, he bubbles back, and if he doesn't fumble, he's going to be short because he takes himself short of the first down, then the ball comes out. And what a break. And I don't say a break because it's a good defensive play with the rip and strip by Wall Lake. That flips the field now. They start with excellent field position.
Well, Tian Armstrong, again, just trying for a little extra. But again, you can't blame a football player for trying to make a football play there. But as it is, fortuitous bounce.
Look at all the white shirts inside. This is a running team. You load the box.
There he is, our first look at Darius Taylor, and he is met immediately. Nowhere to go. Bryce Fortune, the senior linebacker, in there to swallow him up, number 10 in white. Drew Viato, as you mentioned in the open, is headed to Minnesota. And 6'4", 215, he is your prototypical pro-style quarterback. Look at his career numbers, flirting with 3,000 passing yards. He'll get there tonight. And again, very efficient as a signal caller, isn't asked to do as much as maybe another program may ask him to do, but number 3 ranked senior in the great state of Michigan.
Lockdown press outside. You can see the corners up tight here. They're just playing man. That allows you to bring a lot of people into the box to stop the run.
Be 2nd and 11 as Darius Taylor lost 1 on first down. Viato back to pass, and he hits Taylor. Taylor with a little stutter step, and Darius Taylor out of the backfield picks up a big first down up near the 45-yard line.
And that's got to be a tell. If you're defensive Davison, you got to realize you got to have eyes on number 1. They're going to try to get him into the play, get him the ball as many ways as possible, and they go empty here. They have him out in the slot to the right, Johnny. When you see number 1 in the slot, you got to have an inkling that maybe they're going to try to throw the ball to him, so it's an adjustment that Davison will have to make.
As good as Bryce Fortune is as a linebacker, that's a tough cover when you're trying to hang with Darius Taylor in the slot.
Well, the slot is uncovered over here. There, now you see Davison rolling coverage to him.
On first down, swallowed immediately. That Davison defense swallowed him up right there in the middle of the field. Nowhere to go. Look at that offensive front. Liam Vaughn, Ethan Baskin, Skylar Garmo, Morgan Martinez, and Trey Dobeck on the right side. At the skill position, Darius Taylor, Mr. Everything. Dylan Smith at the tight end. Nathan Fetch, talented fullback, good blocker. Michael Bailey and Ryan Boyce on the outside as wide receivers. They'll also work in Jackson Lippert on the outside as well. They got 3 talented receivers. Aren't asked to do a ton, but very good downfield blockers for this Warrior team. 4 receivers set now. Viato with time. Good hit out of bounds by Bryce Fortune. That's an incomplete pass. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
And that's perfect timing there. Number 10, Bryce Fortune, one of our impact players for Davison on defense, along with number 32, inside linebacker Carter Harriman. These 2 guys are around the fullback. Harriman, really, Jake Weingart thinks he's a next-level player at linebacker. Only a junior, been a 3-year starter on the varsity ever since he was a freshman. And he just loves Bryce Fortune. He said he's just come leaps and bounds this year from what he was last year, and he's really become a leader as well on defense.
Maybe the toughest defense that Walled Lake Western will have faced this season. Again, we are in week 6, so this is a big matchup for both these programs. 3rd and 10 after the turnover. Viato looking to the outside, overthrows his intended target.
Yeah, just no separation. Now, we talked about Tion Armstrong in the open. What a good corner he is besides a receiver. And they try to get the ball outside that time.
Looking for Chase Schwerking.
Yeah, and Schwerking just couldn't get any separation. As you can see here as the ball arrives, a little bit high. Armstrong right there, and Davison allows 1 first down, 1 play out of to the slot to Darius Taylor, but then they tighten it up and force a punt.
Buddy Williams fields both kicks and punts for Davison. He is back deep. Punt is away. Buddy Williams will signal for fair catch at the 26-yard line, and that is where Davison will possess it for the 2nd time. So the Davison duo going to be back at it for a 2nd time around. Talk about the talented running backs. Jalen Flowers, the senior. A.J. Hill, the sophomore. You're watching Football Friday's Game of the Week here on Bally Sports. Yeah, what a beautiful night for football here in Walled Lake, Michigan. Lights are out, and so are the top 20 rankings. These are all divisions here from state champs through week 6. You're highlighting Detroit Catholic Central because?
Oh, they're the only team that's beaten Davison, the Cardinals, early in the year. Coach Weingartz felt that his team did not perform nearly the way he wanted them to, but you know, I watched that film, and CC was pretty good up front. They had some grown men now playing defensive line, and Davison had a hard time running the football, and it kind of forced in the passing game, and Himmelein just wasn't super effective that day.
Davison ranked 12th in the state among all divisions. Walled Lake Western ranked 10th, unbeaten at 5-0. Of course, had that big win against South Lyon in week 1. Almost 4 minutes gone by here in the opening quarter. Play action, Himmelein back to pass. Past the sticks, Tion Armstrong, 1st down, Davison.
What wonderful timing between a quarterback and a receiver. Armstrong's going to run about a 15-yard stop, and as he's coming out of his cut, Himmelein is stepping into the throw and delivering it, so the defensive back in that situation has no chance to make a play. A little ball fake here. He sets and delivers. The ball is in the air, coming out of your cut, and you know, that's tough. When you're a defensive back like Jackson Lippert in that situation, I mean, you played it pretty well, but it's just perfect timing.
Armstrong comes into this game leading the team, 19 grabs, 390 yards, and 4 receiving touchdowns. It's time to hand the football off. Jalen Flowers breaking a few arm tackles. Right at midfield, Flowers falls forward, gain of 9 on 1st down. I understand why they like this man so much. Been on varsity since his freshman year, Rubes.
Yeah, and this is just part. You're going to see him pull here, and the little dude, he hops right behind him, let it go. They do a good job. They're going to pull from that side, let it go. And look at how he just gets behind him, gets in there. Great job with the push. Way to stay up and stay on for the offensive lineman. That's what you want as an offensive line coach. I know Larry Perry and Coach Sullivan work with the offensive line, and they do a nice job of keeping those bodies working.
Good lateral quickness, and you saw great patience there from the running back position. That is, as a former running back, sometimes easier said than done. Play action, reaching back, looking for the home run. Just overthrew Tion Armstrong, maybe missed him by a half step, and Himmelein knows it.
Oh, they missed, and they had another one open going down the middle. They had Henry Karstaffen. He was open out of the slot. He gets grabbed by the safety, makes a good play. So that's a good penalty to take. The back judge did not see it. He was flat-footed as Karstaffen was running by him, and he just grabs him in the middle of the field, right to the right of your screen. And this is a touchdown. You want to give it air. He did a good job. Himmelein giving it air, allowing your receiver to adjust to it, which is a little bit too far.
3rd and 1 now. To give to Flowers. Flowers moving lateral, trying to get to the edge. Flowers gets to the edge, picks up about 7 yards. That'll be a first down, move the sticks.
Well, let's take a look here. Although I had nothing to do with creating Rubik's Cube, because if I did, I would not be doing this. I'd own my own island somewhere. But I think for offensive for Davison, raise you one. I say that is, we're going to see your back and Taylor, and we're going to raise you one because they have A.J. Hill, and they also have Flowers. And 7th heaven defensively for Davison, their front 7 has got to control Darius Taylor. Contain him. Don't give him a 3-yard game. If he gets 100, 150, you're probably going to win the game.
Ball spotted at the 45-yard line. Himmelein hands it off. A.J. Hill this time. Hill working to the left. Hill puts his foot in the ground, gets up past the 30-yard line, down at the 29. It's the guy that Coach Weingartz believes is going to be one of those special kids who comes through the Davison program, still so young, just a sophomore. Got a little more physical and mental growth that's going to come as you transition from being an underclassman to an upperclassman. But
let's get a look at Jalen Flowers. Let's take a look. He's going to be your lead block. Let's watch him. This is what running backs do when they're a complete running back. Let it go. He does a great job of getting out in front of A.J. Hill, and then boom, just does a great job on that lead block. That allows Hill to get into the seam and make a nice gain out of it, and that's a great complimentary back. Every running back wants to run it, Johnny. How many want to get out there when they're not getting the ball and block? Obviously, Jalen Flowers does.
Flowers now the ball carried. Excuse me, that's Hill again. And maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a couple of yards. We'll see. Good stop made by Michael Bailey, number 6 for Walled Lake Western. So they're going to give him a gain of 3. That'll bring up 2nd down. A.J. Hill, number 6 there, had 3 rushing touchdowns against Clarkson in the battle at the Big House in the season opener. Played some as a freshman last year as well. They bring motion. Hands it off to Hill. Hill, open field stop made by the Walled Lake defense. Fabulous job in the open field. Number 4, Joey Hawkins, coming up from the free safety spot.
I always talk to the coaches about what style of defense. Are you a blitzing, attacking? Are you a wing it as you go? Are you a bend but don't break? And what I've seen right now with this Walled Lake Western team is they seem like a bend but don't break. They're giving yards between the 30s, but all of a sudden they start kind of clamping down. It's a good open field tackle by Joey Hawkins there, number 4, coming up in gray to make the play.
3rd down, they'll say 3rd and 7. Both running backs flanked on the opposite sides of Himmelein.
Did they bring pressure off the edge?
Play action. Himmelein got his man over the middle inside the 10-yard line. That's going to be a first down. Zach Papadakis from the slot position picks up the first.
This is a young man that gets overlooked a little bit, maybe mostly by me, because the coaches spoke highly of him. They said he has some offers as well from Northwood, Saginaw Valley. He's a receiver. And you talk about Tion Armstrong, gets a lot of love, but he's covered. That's really good coverage by Joey Hawkins. And he takes a shot at the quarterback as he delivers the ball, but he'll take that every day of the week if he gets completion, which moves the sticks.
That was Michael Bailey who came in and brought pressure, but Davison able to move it. Now inside the 10-yard line, they'll mark it at the 9.
A little bit different look, 20 personnel, 2 backs, no tight ends.
They hand it off. A.J. Hill fighting for yardage, falls forward, picks up a couple.
Interesting look there, something we haven't seen. On the two-back set, he kind of does the read with Hill, and he gives it to him. But Flowers is motioning outside, so he could run an option, a little Ohio option, like you guys used to run in high school, Johnny, down in the great state of Ohio. So it's something you can show someone. And is when you run that play, sometimes, I'm not saying it's a dummy play, but it's just kind of a tester. See how they react, see how they defend it. If they're closing down hard on that first fake, you can pull it and then option the tailback.
This time to hand the football off. Jalen Flowers fighting across the goal line. Touchdown, Davison. There you go. 9 rushing touchdowns on the year for the senior running back, Jalen Flowers.
That's 2 times Davison's had the ball, and they've really moved it down the field both times. First time came up empty. That time they were able to seal the deal with their outstanding senior running back, number 1, Jalen Flowers.
And on for the point after is good from Brady Titsworth. So Davison put together 2 nice drives. The first one ended in a turnover on 4th down. This time, able to punch it in. They lean on number 1. He's been there all season long. And the Cardinals with a 1 touchdown advantage. 3:58 left to play here in quarter number 1.
Welcome back to Walled Lake Western. As you just saw, Davison now up 7-0. And if you take a close look at Davison's helmets, you might notice a few stickers on them. And if you take an even closer look, you might notice some of them are pigs. That's right. For Davison's offensive line, they call themselves the Hogs. And you don't just become a hog. There's a whole process to it. I'll let Jackson Rice explain that one.
Well, when you play JV and freshman, you're a piglet. And then once you grow up in the varsity, you're a hog. And you're like a big offensive lineman. You're big, you're gross, you're mean. But you get down there and you get dirty and do your job. So that's how it is.
Piglets to hogs. What a process that takes. Going from freshman to JV to varsity, you really got to earn that name. But after speaking with the offensive linemen this week, they told me these guys eat together. They walk around the halls together. They hang out together constantly. So this group really takes that name seriously, and you can see it here on the field, too, with that touchdown just now. Johnny Rubes, I got to say, I feel like we need to get some stickers somehow or have some sort of nickname. You guys got any ideas?
All I know is I like a job where you got to eat your way into it.
That's it, man.
All you got to do is keep eating from time
evolve into a hog, and it's a good thing.
You know, back in the day when I played, Johnny, the Redskins, that was their name. Their offensive line was the Hogs, but you know, they did a good job, the Hogs. We're going to take a look at this touchdown here that Jalen Flowers just scored. And the left hog on the left guard right here. Let's keep an eye on Brady Harrison. He's doing a great job. Let it go. He's going to pull out to the right. And he's going to, Flowers, been watching the lead block here. He just, nice job staying up. And I talk about that. Kids want to hit hard. I'd rather have a kid that hits kind of hard but stays on. Your running backs are good enough, and Davison surely are. If you can stay on, they will find room to run the football. It's when you get a good hit and go to the ground, the defense is there to get you.
Short kick going to be fielded at the 26-yard line where Walled Lake Western will take over. Davison, 10 plays, 73 yards, ate up 4 minutes and 10 seconds, and then the 5-yard touchdown run by Jalen Flowers to open the scoring here tonight. And back trots out Drew Viata, the talented senior quarterback. Again, this is a team that has been tested, maybe not tested as much as Davison has been to this point in the season. We'll see how they answer the bell here. Viata now in his 2nd year as a starting quarterback for the Warriors. This time he pitches. Darius Taylor. Taylor looking to get upfield, picks up 3 yards. Tough running, nothing coming easy against this Cardinal defense. There's the man you talked about as being one of your impact players, Carter Harriman, number 32. Got that old cowboy collar on there. You love that.
He's old school. Yeah, you gotta like that, but I like the fact that he can run, and he can go side to side, and the big defensive line, you look at Clark and Mahone and McGrill and Dosh, they do a good job of engaging the offensive linemen and letting those linebackers flow, and we saw the benefit of that. But still, a 5-yard gain, so that's a win on 1st down for the Warriors. Get 2 back in now. They got a lead fullback.
2nd and 5. Now Taylor goes in motion, lines up in the slot. Viato looking for him. Taylor got behind the defense, but he's broken up by Carter Harriman. Wow. Harriman covering one of the more talented running backs in the Midwest.
And that play was about 98% perfect. If you can get not quite 100 balls, just a hair underthrown. Great speed accelerating down the middle of the field by Taylor, but also good catch-up speed by 32. Harriman, we're going to look coming into your living room here, looking right in the slot, makes a little bit of move. He gets down the field, and Harriman does a great job of timing it, gets his arm up in as the ball arrives. Not interference, really good play. Big 3rd down and 5. This is really important now that the Warriors can get this 1st down, Johnny, because they've struggled. They get that ball back to Davison. They've shown they can move the football.
Again in motion is Taylor. Pressure coming. Viato gets out of the pressure. Moving to his left. That's a step out of bounds. He was chased out by Carter Harriman. You know, one thing we talked with Jake Weingartz earlier in the week, he said, you know, Harriman, yeah, he's one of our biggest, strongest guys. He's also our 2nd fastest player on the team. You saw it in coverage against Darius
absolutely.
Taylor. And now chasing Viato out of bounds, going to bring up 4th down.
Really coming out of character, Wall Lake is. And this starts because look at the pressure inside. A good job forcing the big quarterback, Viato, to scramble. And not his strong suit, the running game as a quarterback. He's a pocket guy, big, strong arm, big, strong kid. You force him out of the pocket, that's a win for your defense.
Viato also handles the punting responsibilities, kicks this one away. Buddy Williams lets it bounce, and this one's going to come to rest right at the 30-yard line where Davison will take over once again. But that Davison defense has been tough. They've been showing it here tonight. And now their offense gets an opportunity to try to add to this 7-0 lead. No, Hurricane Ian has ravaged our neighbors in Florida and impacted other states along the lower Atlantic coast. The Red Cross is there to provide shelter, food, comfort, and support. To donate, scan the QR code or visit redcross.org or text Ian to 90999 for a $10 donation. We appreciate your support. A tough situation going on down in Southwest Florida. I know that. A lot of family and friends that are down there, and everybody trying to take inventory of what was lost, but certainly grateful for those that I know that have made it through it. And on 1st down, that'll be another 1st down. Henry Karstarfen with the catch, and that'll move the sticks, gain of 12. Braylen Himmelein right on target with that pass.
That's just a coverage completion. They give you the 3rd receiver in from the side has a soft safety about 10 yards off. You just run a 5-yard hitch, get it to Karstarfen, and he does the rest. Able to move the chains, and right now Davison's got this defensive Wall Lake on their heels a little bit with that effective run game. Throwing on 1st down was easy for Davison.
Bunch receiver formation here on the near side of the screen. And they're going to swing it out to Tion Armstrong in space. Armstrong past midfield. That's going to be near 1st down marker. I think he's going to have it. He will. That'll move the chains yet again. So 2 plays, 2 1st downs for this Davison offense.
And Davison runs a lot of RPOs. We're going to take a look here. Let's keep an eye on the eyes. All right, let it go. Of the quarterback, Himmelein. He's looking. He sees the linebacker come up. That means he's going to pull it, not run it, and dump it to the flat. That's your classic RPO. You're reading the hang player. If the hang player, the outside linebacker, comes downhill, Johnny, for the run, you pull it, you throw the pass in the flat. Really good job execution, and better job by Himmelein, recognizing it, doing a good job with his reads.
Tion Armstrong been a big part of this offense here in the opening quarter. This time the handoff to A.J. Hill. Hill with running room. Hill cuts it back. A.J. Hill shaking an arm tackle. Hill still on his feet inside the 20-yard line. He'll be brought down at about the 18. You understand why they like this young man so much. A.J. Hill takes more than one to bring him down.
All right, we're going to see. Now you can even tell by the stance a little bit. Look at big number 76, Flynn Crystal. They're going to pull this way. Let it go. And this is all they're doing. They're running power. Block down on the play side. Pull. No one there running through. Look at that athleticism of that kid. That's a senior, 6'6", 255. And that's, when you do that, and no one touches Hill, he's about 10, 15 yards down the field. This Davison line right now is just leaning hard on this front of Wall Lake, who's just really trying to hold up right now.
Approaching a minute and a half to play in quarter number 1. Play action. Underneath. Karstafen. Touchdown, Davison. Look out. They've got athletes. This is a kid that can run.
Now. They got some dudes. What I like, though, we're going to chance we get to look at the replay in a bit, but a great job down the field of other guys who don't get the ball getting blocks. Keep playing. The play isn't over. The ball is thrown as a receiver. The play just starts, whether you get the ball or you're a blocker down the field.
Brady Titsworth on, and the lefty puts it through. 14-0 Davison. This Henry Karstafen. This kid can run, set the 200 school record last year and the 60-yard dash last year as well. Rangy, athletic. Now look at him.
Okay, we're going to watch. This is Henry right here. He's going to want to get set. Let it go. Look at the soft coverage. A lot of space. He's just going to sit down. There's no one there. Now let it go. Pause it right here. There's a block right here, and here's another one right here. Great job down the field, picking up blocks, and nice job by Henry Karstafen seeing them and getting to the outside using his speed. So you got to like that. Well coached. Another look here. Just they're giving you that. They're playing that soft safety over the number 2 and number 3 receiver inside. That's just until you come up in coverage a little bit tighter. They're just going to take that all day.
3 receiving touchdowns now in the season for Henry Karstafen. The thing about it is you got Tion Armstrong on one side we've seen. Then they showcase Karstafen on the other side. Makes it difficult for teams to key in on any one guy. And we'll say this about Henry Karstafen, their number 3. He is getting a lot of Division II looks. University of Findlay down in Ohio, they're looking at him.
Love the Oilers. Love the Oilers. You didn't know I knew that, did you?
That's nice on your part. Good for you.
Yeah. Well, they were a GLIAC team for a while. They came in and got beat up a little bit, so they left. But still a really good school. It's in that state below us.
Easy now. 4 plays, 70 yards, minute 23, and an 8-yard receiving touchdown from Henry Karstafen III.
It should be blown dead. Yeah, he took it off a knee. This is a big drive. I know it's the first quarter. I don't want to sound like Tony Romo, like this is a big drive, Jim, and we're in the first quarter. But it truly is, because number one, your defense has been out there the entire first quarter. They're going to get a little bit gassed. Now, offensive, you got to show that we can figure this defense of Davison out. Davidson and Coach Weingartz and his staff, Coach Blaze, the defensive coordinator, they're just loading the box. They're bringing 7, 8, 9 people inside. They're manning you up outside. So in that situation, you got to try to loosen them up. You got to try to hit a big pass over the top. They almost had it with Darius Taylor down the middle. If it wasn't for an outstanding play by Harriman, it would have been a completion. You got to loosen them up. Right now, they're just, I don't care who you have in that backfield. When you got 7, 8 guys in that box who are good football players, it's tough going.
1st and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. Warriors bring motion. Darius Taylor met immediately. Carter Harriman, the junior linebacker, comes up and popped him.
Just no threat right now. They're trying to run a little counter delay, and it's too slow development. And Harriman's going to blitz right through here. He's going to loop inside, and this is just a little bit of a counter, but it takes too long. Let it go. He's going to take the step there, tries to come back, and there's Harriman just on an inside blitz. That's a perfect call for that play, and it's just too slow. When you run a counter with that jab step, it just takes too long. It doesn't hit the hole quick enough.
Darius Taylor, 0 rushing yards so far tonight. Viato, pressure coming. Viato throws into coverage, overthrows his intended target. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Now let's take a look at what Wall Lake needs to do, and this is, in my opinion, offensively, let the big dog eat. Well, they've been trying to do that. The problem is there's a lot of dog catchers in white out there tonight. There's a lot of guys up in that front who are slowing that down. And now you see me, and we did see that. That's a little bit of the deception, to keep guys defensively moving. Wall Lake was doing a good job of that, trying to keep guys out of position, not letting Davison get a beat on what they're doing defensively. Well, the last couple of series now, Davison's kind of honing in on what they're doing and have had some success.
3rd down and 14 to gain.
Watch him try to maybe get Taylor out of the backfield. Timeout by the Cardinals.
Yeah, Davison's going to talk this one over. I'll ask you this, Bruce, because we're talking with Coach Corey Soroch earlier this week, and of course, all coaches are going to be real high on their guys. And with Drew Viato, he says he's got extreme arm talent. I don't think there are 20 kids in the country with Viato's arm talent. Now, whether that is true or not, he certainly has, Division I capabilities as a signal caller. And now you put yourself, I'm not saying at 14-0 you have to start chasing points, but now you might need to lean on your quarterback more than you have to this point with Darius Taylor not getting anything going. Maybe you loosen up that defense by turning Viato loose.
The problem is your best receiver is also your best running back, and that's Darius Taylor. So if you don't have him outside, Davis is just going to play man coverage. So look for them maybe to get Taylor out of the backfield with some motion and try to get him into the route as well and try to get some speed to attack the field, because they're just not threatening. Davison doesn't feel threatened with their corners with the speed of the receivers of Walled Lake. So I'm to keep an eye on number 1 coming out of the backfield.
They've also got Jackson Lippert, Ryan Boyce, and Michael Bailey. Again, not out-athleting guys out on the outside, but they do have some pure route runners. So if they do decide to open it up a little bit here on 3rd down, look for one of those names. And overthrew, he was looking for Darius Taylor. You called it.
And I just don't understand. If you're Davison and you coach Blaze, it's like, okay, number 1's pretty good. They have had no success throwing anyone else. They're going to get him into the pass route somehow, whether they move him beforehand and put him in the slot or on the snap that they motion him out of the backfield. But he was wide open. If he catches that, I'm telling you, he's scoring. Because you got one guy, you got Papadakis is the only one that has a chance to get him. And I like one of the best running backs in the state of Michigan in a one-on-one matchup.
And back to punt. Viato one more time, short punt. This one checks on this side, but takes a Walled Lake Western bounce and is going to roll dead inside the 40-yard line. We'll mark it at the 38-yard line. So we'll give you a little perspective on where these two programs, these two high schools are located. And Davison making a little bit of a trip down here to Walled Lake Western here in Walled Lake, Michigan.
I think you do this.
Shy of 63 miles.
You come down here and you come back.
You
don't do any of this during rush hour. When it's rush hour, you do not want that. You want to loop around. It's like an end run. I'm trying to clear. Here we go. You're trying to say end run. You don't want to go through all that traffic in rush hour.
Yeah, you're right. That's a very good point. But a big road trip here for Davison here in week 6. We should have carpooled. This could be the final play of the first quarter. As Himmelein back to pass, going over the middle. Bryce Fortune is there. Fortune got behind the defense. Fortune off to the races. Touchdown, Davison. We're putting on a show.
And some really, really fine play calling. Coach Jake Weingart's head coach as well as the offensive coordinator. They're just going to do a little play action, and we're going to stop this. And Bryce Fortune's going to be the tight end. He's going to be right here. And you look at, there's no cover in the middle of the field. Let it go, because they're all concentrating on the outside. He just does a little delay block. He releases. The linebacker loses him. That's Rackner, 51. He loses him. He gets down the field. He's being chased by Gavin Roberts, but Fortune shows that he can run, and what good fortune he had on that play being wide open.
Think about Bryce Fortune. 2 receiving touchdowns through 5 games. Only had 4 receptions on the year. More of a goal line target for Himmelein. So obviously that surprised the Walled Lake Western defense. Now 3 receiving touchdowns on the year for Bryce Fortune. 2-year starter. Plays both ways. Second leading tackler, and now getting it done offensively as well. And a 3-touchdown lead for the visitors from Davison here in quarter number 1.
You know, and we talk so much coming in, not just about Darius Taylor, but also about Drew Viato, the quarterback. He's heading to Minnesota, committed to Minnesota. But this young man, Himmelein, he's done a nice job here. This throw is a tough throw. When guys are that open, quarterbacks will tell you that's the hardest throw when they're that wide open, because you don't want to miss it. You want to make sure he gets the ball. You don't want him to have to stop to catch it, but a nice job just throwing some touch on it and letting Bryce Fortune get underneath it. Himmelein with 2 touchdown passes. So right now, the battle of quarterbacks, number 12 in white is winning.
Braylen Himmelein. You see a big smile on his face. Coach Weingart says, quiet kid, soft-spoken leader. Second season as the starter, also plays basketball for the Cardinals. An intelligent guy, too. Obviously, they check out of a lot of stuff at the line of scrimmage, audible until they get the matchup they want. And Braylen Himmelein able to process all of that information, get the guys into the right situation, and there you saw it, a 62-yard bomb. Bryce Fortune doing the majority of the work with his legs, and that ball bounces off Walled Lake Western return man. That's going to go back for a touchback. That was Darrell Jones Jr., the man they call Hollywood. That one went into the end zone for a touchback, and that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. So Walled Lake Western with some work to do. Haven't found themselves in this position very often. In fact, they haven't found themselves in this position, clearly not this season. But Davison comes here, flexing its muscles a little bit. One of the powerhouses in Division I. Jalen Flowers getting it done. Henry Carstarfin getting it done. And then Bryce Fortune getting it done. It's a 3-touchdown lead for the visitors.
Welcome back into Walled Lake Western, where Davison leads this one 21-0. Now for Walled Lake Western head coach Corey Soroch, when he's on the football field, it's all about his players. But before he gets to practice each day, he's all about his students. He's a special education teacher in the Walled Lake Adult Transitions Program, which serves students with special needs, teaching them how to be independent. Just a few weeks back, Coach Soroch's students got to come out and watch the game as a field trip, taking tons of pictures while having their own VIP spot in the stands. Coach told me he has 2 brothers with nonverbal autism. He went into special education for this reason and was inspired by that, and now he's been a teacher for 11 years. Now, the most important part of this, he says, the special needs kids that he teaches, they love the football team, but more importantly, the football team loves them. They have such a great bond. So it's just a great experience for the players and really the students in that program.
I love that story. That's a good human being right there, Corey Soroch. Heck of a football coach, but obviously understands his lot in life is more than that. Impacting young lives. Darius Taylor gets met at the line of scrimmage one more time. Another look at Corey Soroch. First chance, I had a chance to talk to him this week, but came away impressed and again, very transparent about about him and his program and where they're at. Obviously, spent some time at Farmington High School as a head coach before getting the opportunity at Walled Lake Western. And from my neck of the woods over there, Berkeley High, next to Royal Oak. 2nd and 10. Darius Taylor with 0 rushing yards so far in this football game. This time play action. Viato got his man, Bailey, at the 29-yard line, right near the first down. They're going to put him at the 30, and they're going to say first down, Walled Lake Western.
Oh, nice ball by that young man, Drew Viato. Just delivered it once again. We saw Davison earlier throw one on time on the stop route, and that time Viato did it himself, and that's a really well-thrown ball. And that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to attack those corners. Sooner or later, maybe take a shot, double move at them, but until you get that running game going, you need to try to air it out a little bit. Use your quarterback's arm. They haven't had to call on them a lot this year. Well, tonight's the night they're going to need to call on big number 8.
They bring motion. That was Bailey. They give it to Darius Taylor. Taylor now spinning through. Taylor, best run of the night. First down, picks up 12 yards. See if that gets him going.
Well, nice job pulling and sealing the edge. We've seen Davison do this with their offensive line, and you're going to see it on this side. They're going to come here, and then good job by Taylor. Just going to bounce it outside after they let it go after the pin. They get a good job sealing. Fullback comes up, and then I talked about in the open. He is so good at making himself skinny yet strong through a hole where it looks like he's going to get caught for 3 yards. All of a sudden, he's got 8 to 10, and that's what we saw right there. He's very deceivingly fast.
There's one other man I know who can make himself look skinny and still be strong. First down. Met immediately. Nowhere to go.
That was close to a fumble. That ball came out, but I think the officials ruled he was down, and he's getting up slow. Boy, we don't want to see this.
We're going to call injury timeout here as Darius Taylor went down reaching for his left ankle there. And now they're going to help him to his feet, which is a welcome sight by everybody in this Warriors Stadium. But it has been tough to come by so far tonight for the talented senior. As Coach Saroch comes out as well, and Taylor able to jog off to the sideline where he'll try to work himself through it. Take another look at it.
You can see his left leg getting rolled up a little bit underneath Tyler Dosh, 56 in white. When he brought him down, his ankle got underneath him. Now he's going to have to sit out a play because of the injury. Now, if he's good, he can go back in. Let's see, they got him on the bench. Is he standing down there, Johnny?
No, he's still running. He's running it out.
Good.
So that's a good sign. Looks like he's going to want to
sign.
check himself back into this football game.
Got a cluster up top.
Viato checks underneath. Bailey picks up a couple of yards. They're going to give him about 5 yards there on the play. As the helmet comes off,
Bailey's going to have to lead the game.
Michael Bailey.
Tackled, good job by Carter Harriman in a zone coverage in the middle of the field. Bailey catches a little curl route, and Harriman's there to make the play.
Taylor back in the football game. Again, look at these season numbers. 3 games this year, folks. They've played 5. In 3 of those 5, he's had 6 rushing touchdowns. Set the school record for rushing in week 1, came back, broke it by nearly doubling his production last week.
What you got here? You know, how about you got Darius Taylor using his decoy, run everyone off, maybe a screen, you got the one remaining back in the backfield.
Viato, here comes the pressure. Viato hammered at the 31-yard line. Guess who? Carter Harriman, number 32.
That's a junior, people. He's been a starter on the varsity as a freshman, sophomore, and junior. So he still has an upside. And this just is, they're just going to bring a lot of bodies in here. Let it go. Number 32 in white, the linebacker. The back goes out too quickly. It opens it up. And I tell you, though, if Carter Harriman doesn't get him, Tyler Dosh, 56, will. Because he's right there as well. So
Carter Harriman plays with a little sass. Loves spending time in the film room with his D coordinator after practice. Kid lives and breathes football as the punt is away. And a couple flags fly as well. We'll see what they decide. Ball comes to rest at the 38-yard line.
Well, Logan Honeycutt, he was blocking the Hawk in coverage that time. I think that was Darrell Jones Jr., number 2. Could get either a holding or a personal foul because he ended up landing on him on top of the turf. Was on top of him when the play was ending. I gotta believe it's going to go in Walled Lake's favor.
We're going to go back 10 from here. During the kick, holding on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st and 10.
So, not a lot has gone in the favor of Walled Lake Western here tonight. Davison's going to be backed up 10 yards as Coach Saroch talks it over with his offensive line. Work to do. 21-0 Davison, 7:54 to play here in the second. We welcome you back inside Warriors Stadium. Davison Cardinals made about a 63-mile trek south to come here. We'll take a look at the school profile. Established back in 1972. Rocking the maroon and gold. Playing Division I out of the Saginaw Valley Conference. Michael Moore, you know, the famous documentary filmmaker. Notable alum.
How about Brent Metcalf, Paul Donahoe? National champion wrestlers.
There you go. You just didn't have a chance to put it on the graphic.
No one asked me either when they were creating that.
How about that direct snap? And Jalen Flowers right up the gut. Big chunk on 1st down. Flag comes in late. See some extracurriculars. And now flags are flying everywhere.
Yeah, Davison was going to be the beneficiary of a 15-yard penalty against Walled Lake Western. And then Himmelein, who was in the slot because they went wildcat, as you said, Johnny, with Jalen Flowers getting a direct snap. he got up, and after he got shoved and stuff, he took a little slap at the defensive back in that situation, and now they're both going to be offsetting, both dead balls, so it should be the play should stand.
See Jake Weingartz, he was pretty hot.
Well, that's his quarterback, see, and he takes kind of umbrage to the fact that I got my quarterback split out. He's just stock blocking. The play is done. It's 30 yards away, and you're trying to deliver a blow to my quarterback. But, you know, you put him out in the slot. You run wildcat. He's a football player. He's not the quarterback anymore. He's under the same guidelines as everyone else.
You talk about Braylen Himmelein, 7 of 10 for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns in this football game. The officials continue to sort this one out. We have a decision.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense. Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. Those penalties offset, second down.
As they say in the business rooms, much ado about nothing.
Yes. And on top of your screen, we're going to look here. I don't know if you can see it. This is the play. This was the run by Flowers. All the action was taking place away from it. You see all the laundry coming. Coach Weingart's not happy. He wants him ejected from the game.
No, I think
he wants the guy to hit his quarterback.
Yards,
well, you know, Jake, next time you do that, Coach G or Weingart's, take your quarterback, have him stand on the sideline by you.
2nd and 3 now as the play stands. Reaching back, looking, and just underthrown, but here come the flags. And he was looking. Is that Henry Karstafen again on the outside? It is.
And what Karstafen does a nice job of, he locates the football. He's trying to make a play on the football, and coverage was not. That was Aiden Branoff, number 22 in gray. He never sees the ball, so you see him rake his arm across the top. Easy call for the officials. Not a spot foul, but it will be a first down because the 15 yards will help move the sticks.
Karstafen, yeah, we talk about his speed.
Yeah, I missed him.
Those school records.
We talked a lot open about Tion Armstrong. Well, Karstafen, he's a player too. So Davison's blessed with 2 really good running backs and 2 really good wide receivers. And Papadakis, 14, he's a different type of receiver, but he's
During
really
the play,
good.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Yardage gains results in a first down.
So really strong, this Davison team in the skill positions. A young offensive line in some spots, but they're getting better as the season goes on as well.
You just saw look at Zach Papadakis, giving the thumbs up.
Now look how spread out that secondary is now. Remember beginning of the game, they had like 8-9 up in the box against Davison. Now with the ability to throw the football.
The quick hitter, that one knocked down. The Western defense, that was Michael Bailey in there to knock it down.
Sorry, Johnny, but the ability to throw the football, it's got them thinking pass, and now you got that secondary spread out. The linebackers are getting deeper. It should open up the run game as well. Here's the RPO. He sees the linebacker right there, jumps. That's the guy he's reading. That's Michael Bailey. He's the hang guy. So when he comes up, that means I'm pulling it, because if I give it to the running back, he's got an open tackle on the back. So when he comes up, I pull it and throw it behind him. Well, good job by Bailey deflecting it.
Second and 10. Himmelein rolling to his right. Steps into the throw. Himmelein looking deep. Karstafen hit him in the hand. Pretty good coverage. Joey Hawkins in coverage yet again. They're looking for another home run.
Himmelein shows he has a strong arm, but a lot of his deep throws have been like right or left of the receiver. Nothing really in line except for the touchdown pass that he threw early on where he was able to find Bryce Fortune. And there's a look here, just fading outside. And that is tough, people. You got to understand that's the toughest thing as a receiver because you lose sight of it for a little bit. You can keep your eyes on it the whole way. Right looking there. I think Himmelein thinks he might have one and just close. Now 3rd and 10. You've seen pass.
Let's see if Walled Lake Western decides to take a timeout here, and they will. Talk this one over, Coach Suroch, as Ball's at the 48-yard line, and the way Davison's been moving it, they might look at this as, hey, we have 2 downs to pick up 10 yards.
Yeah, and this is huge right here because it's a 21-0 game. So if you allow Davison to go and get another score, a 4-score game against an offense that's moved on, it's going to put a lot of pressure. It's going to be very difficult to come back. But if you get a stop here and somehow maybe you put something together offensively, go down and get a score and make it a 21-7 game at half, you don't know what can happen in the second half.
Yeah, got to come up with a stop here. No two ways about it, but you talk about the tone setter on this drive had to have been the penalty.
Here's a look right here. They're going to be right here, I believe. Let's let it go. Keep an eye. Stock block. Everything looks good. Don't look at the ball carrier. He gets thrown and he hangs on. That could have been a hold. Now he's on top. Okay, right I think that was the first penalty. Flag comes in. He slaps him with his toe. That's when the other penalties came in.
Well, that's, if you're a senior safety in Joey Hawkins who plays with a ton of passion, and you're seeing the quarterback out there,
you're salivating.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's fair game, yep.
You say, hey, man, he's not protected in this situation. And he stayed with him. Nothing dirty there until the old towel slap from Himmelein.
Now, you see a spread set, a 3-by-1. They're tightening down Karstafen, but don't think Jake won't run it. Weingarts won't run it in this situation.
Himmelein, here comes pressure. Himmelein, back across, and got his man inside the 20. Papadakis, touchdown Davison.
52-yard reception catch.
Himmelein has missed a few, but that time, that is just a wonderful play by a high school quarterback of not just getting out of the pressure when it collapsed in the pocket, of extending the play, going outside. But so many young quarterbacks, when that happens, Johnny, they're going to take off and run. He keeps his eyes down the field. That allows Papadakis to come all the way across the field in the middle with no one on him. Coverage broke down. And now you have a 28-0 lead for the Cardinals, and everything's looking good for the team in white.
Braylen Himmelein with 3 touchdown passes in the first quarter. Davison up by 4 scores. One more look at it, Rob Rubick.
Well, you're going to see right here, he's looking right. He feels the pressure. He's going to go to his left, but he keeps his eyes up, looks down the field. And to Papadakis' credit, he keeps working. He gives your quarterback a chance. Quarterback goes away when the play breaks down. He goes away, you go to him. If he comes at you, you go away. Those are the rules for receivers, and Papadakis does a nice job. Well thrown ball. See his reaction here. Pretty happy. Pretty happy. He's missed a few, Johnny, but that time he did it.
This Davison offense is tough. I didn't get a chance to see in person that Week 2 matchup against Detroit Catholic Central, but the only blemish on the scorecard for Davison this year.
The biggest difference in that game was CC up front with their front 4 were able to really control the running game of Davison. So when you can do that with your front 4, now all of a sudden you can cover with 6 and 7 and limit the damage they could do. So Davison struggled a little bit running the ball against that front. They just weren't as nearly what we're seeing here tonight. They established a run game early tonight, showing they could run the power game. And then once they did that, then they just started doing the quick game and the RPO game and bing, bing, bing. And then you look at the board and it's 28-0.
Well, these Walled Lake Western fans, they're not scoreboard watching. It's Friday night in Walled Lake. Letting loose. Who says you can't wear white after Labor Day? Is it Labor Day or Memorial Day? You're not supposed to wear white.
Labor Day, the fall day.
And they're going to blow this one dead before it gets underway. I always struggle with that one. So Davison, we know, has been tested. You talk about that CC game. You know, as a program, they take pride in being able to stop the run. They have in years past, and the question coming into tonight was, going up against the best back they're going to face this season in Darius Taylor, would they be able to do it? Well, Darius Taylor, aside from that 113-yard run.
But it just shows you the difference. And they got some tough games ahead now. They'll roll here, but Grand Blanc is talented, that they're not what they were last year. And Lapeer is talented offensively, very talented. They have a hard time stopping people, but they will be one of the best offenses that Davison has seen all year. Quarterback is very talented for Lapeer.
Don't you live in Lapeer?
On the outskirts. Do you mean, is that why I'm plugging Lapeer?
No, I just...
No, I'm retired, Johnny. I live wherever I want to now.
You RVing?
No.
Ball is away.
Mama Rubick.
Home is where I park. Western, nothing doing. And a flag comes in late as the ball is spotted at the 27-yard line. We'll wait to see what the flag is and look at the school profile of Walled Lake Western. Playing out of the Lakes Valley, mentions Division III program. Off to an unbeaten start. Notable alumni, David Booth from National Hockey League. Kirsten Haglund, Miss America. Josh Jones and Cody White, both NFL stars.
He was I think Cody White was at MSU, wasn't he? He was a Sparty. Go green, go white, right? Cody White, that was his father.
I was trying to remember Kirsten Haglund.
During the kick, illegal blindside block on the receiving team. Half the distance from the end of the run. Western 1st and 10.
So that's going to back up Walled Lake Western even more. And they're going to have a long way to go. Still a lot of time left in this football game. Try to get back in it. But again, and you know this as well as anybody, Rube, sometimes you come in with a game plan and then when things aren't going according to plan, now you've got to pivot. And we'll see what Walled Lake, if they're able to make some adjustments here before they get to the half. A little quick hitter over the middle. And pick up a couple of yards there on first down anyhow.
Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You see the Warriors, they run a little RPO of their own. Davison's been killing them on it the entire game. And what better guy than Darius Taylor to run it? You're going to see, let it go. You're going to put it right in his belly. But he's looking here at the linebacker. He sees Bryce Fortune step up. He throws it right behind where he vacates. Easy pitch and catch. And something positive. They need to build on something. If nothing else, at least eat this clock, put a drive together, and maybe you can finish it with some points.
As Jackson Lippert, his first catch of the ball game.
They got to try to get number one in space.
This
somehow.
time they put Lippert in motion and they pitch it to him, but nowhere to go. That Davison defense there to swallow him up. And that's going to be a loss on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. Guess who? Carter Harriman one more time for those Davison Cardinals.
He's having a game, huh?
He's having a heck of a game. He's approaching double-digit tackles already.
You know, you talk to these coaches during the week, as we always get to do, Johnny, and you hear a lot of things, oh, this kid's great, because they love their team. And, you know, Jake Weingart's talked so much about Carter Harriman, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, I watched him on film against CC, and I watched him another game, and I'm thinking, yeah, he's pretty good. Well, he's lived up to the billing here tonight because he's been the best player on defense for the Cardinals the entire evening.
Leading tackler coming in. Leading tackler in this ball game. 3rd and long. Viato underneath Jackson Lippert trying to reach forward to pick up an extra yard up to the 22-yard line. He's going to be short of the first. And now decision time. 4th and 3.
You got to punt it. But let me tell you this also, Johnny. I'm looking at Viato. I'm impressed. You say, how can you be impressed? It's 28-0. They haven't put a point on the board. Number one, he's had no time when he's tried to throw. Number two, they have no run game right now, so they know you have to step back and throw. But when he's given any time at all, extremely accurate quarterback. And when you have that, everything else can come. You can work on everything else, but the number one thing you have to be at any level is accurate.
Viato back to pass, boots it away with the left leg. And Buddy Williams this time met immediately. Nowhere to run for Buddy Williams. Good coverage by the Walled Lake Western special teams unit. Austin Ryback in on the stop. 4-touchdown advantage for Davison. Now a message from the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. This special presentation of high school football on Bally Sports Detroit is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Let's send it downstairs to catch up with Natalie Kerwin. Nat?
Yeah, many high school athletes dream of playing at the next level. But to do that and go to the same college and play with your best friend, well, that dream will be lived out by Walled Lake Western's 1-2 punch in Drew Viato and Darius Taylor next year at Minnesota, something they didn't even think could happen.
We had a showcase on the field here, and Minnesota was there to watch him, obviously, and the offensive coordinator of Minnesota, Coach Soraka, was there. And he watched me throw in a complete downpour, just terrible weather. And I'd already had a relationship with him because I saw him at another camp. So he saw me throw in the rain, and he was really wasn't expecting me to throw that well in the rain, and decided to offer me. And Darius could say, oh, you copied me, but I'm not just going to Minnesota just because of him. Obviously, it's a great opportunity to play with my teammate, but I'm just going there just because I feel like it's the best fit for me.
I mean, we've been working so hard since 8th grade, really. So, I mean, we've always grown and kept working, and we both knew that we would make it to the next level, but we never knew that we'd play together.
It was really a dream come true because that's something we had talked about before. We never really thought it would actually happen. We were just sitting in class when they were like, you know what, it'd be pretty cool if we played together at college. And so obviously it worked out, and we couldn't be happier.
Yeah, what a great story. You talk about Drew Viato, and they say, maybe his stats don't quite match his talent this season, but they've been winning football games, and that's all that Drew Viato cares about. And obviously, Darius Taylor, you've seen what he's doing, rewriting the record books here at Walled Lake Western with nearly 1,500 rushing yards coming into tonight here in the senior campaign. But pretty awesome for both those guys to get an opportunity. And how about this little trick play? Oh, mercy! Touchdown, Davison.
I don't know if it's intentional.
It was intentional.
But it's a great call. It's a skip pass on the turf. It comes up perfectly, and people look at that and they say, well, it's a dead ball. No, it's a lateral. It's not it's a skip lateral, I guess you would call it. It's thrown backwards. It comes on one hop. Receiver wide open. And Coach Weingart said he had a lot of trick plays. I try to always ask the coaches. I ask, Coach Roach, what is your opening play? And Jake Weingart said, I got a lot of trick plays. I said, are you going to use one early? He said, no. He said, I'm saving them and using them if I need them. Well, kind of let one out there that I don't know he needed it with a 28-0 lead, but it worked perfectly.
Buddy Williams, nobody within a country mile on the receiving end. Take one more look at this thing now.
Yeah, it's definitely backwards. I think that's planned. I 100% think that's planned because we've seen Himmelein throw a lot of balls, and that was by far would have been the worst one, not even close. And that was perfect skip right up to him. Really cool. That's a turf play now. Do that at Cass Tech with all those clumps of the grass and the dirt and stuff. That ball that could have went in any direction.
Henry Karstafen will get credit for a little halfback pass on the touchdown there for Davison. You see Jake Weingart can't help but put a little wry smile into that one. That's a heck of a play call in that situation. Karstafen did his job. Obviously, it started with Himmelein doing his, delivering a perfect bullet on the skip pass. And then on the receiving end, Buddy Williams, who primarily called his name doing punt returns and kick returns. That time wide open for the score, and now 35-0 in favor of Davison. If you're Walled Lake Western right now, Rubes, you've seen everything, and now it's a matter of how do you stop it? Hey, it's a good start right here on the kick return with some space. Look out. Walled Lake Western with a big answer. Jackson Lippert takes it to the house.
Lippert does a nice job. He picks up some good blocks. He's going to try it to the left. There's nothing there, and he reverses. At the high school level, kids, when they go down, they may stay in their lanes early, but they all see the ball and they all start to converge on it. And when you go back against the grain, as Lippert did, he found a huge seam and then just outran the coverage team.
That's a big play for this Walled Lake team. I was just saying, how do you answer it? How do you stop what Davison is doing? And now you look on back-to-back plays Maybe two of the more unlikely back-to-back plays as you'll see in high school football, but Western at least able to punch back after being stunned, falling behind by 35 points. They're going to officially call that 99-yard kickoff return for the Jackson Lippert. Look at Lippert. Hydrate, young man. Got to.
We're going to look here now. He's going to come up. He's going to go to his left a little bit. There's nothing there. You can see all the weight should start to converge. And then when you go back, if there's no contain, you got a great opportunity to take it to the house. And Lippert did exactly that. Good house. A good effort trying to come down the field by Charlie Armstead. Just not enough to get there.
Great speed. Jackson Lippert's a guy who's pretty quiet there in the opening quarter. They've looked to him a lot out of the backfield. On the outside there in quarter number 2, and now you see an opportunity, obviously, in the kick return game. Jackson Lippert providing a much-needed spark for the Warriors.
Well, now what Wall Lake needs to do is try to hold serve here and not allow Davison to put the points back on the board with still a lot of time. In a way, Davison's offense has been clicking on all cylinders with 4:25. And I think we have the timeouts listed on the screen here. Davison with 1 timeout remaining. So enough time with the type of skill they have to put some more points. So Wall Lake's got to kind of bow their neck a little bit. And let's see an onside kick here.
Looks to be. And it traveled. Looks like it got 10 yards as Wall Lake Western able to come down with it. Flag comes in now.
I thought it went 10 too.
The flag first touched at 9. Had to cross the 50.
I think Davison falls on it anyways. But you see the flag, and when the flag came, it looks like it was going to be an early touch before the 10-yard marker.
Pretty good kick from Max Kerr.
Really good kick. It double hopped. You want to bounce once, and on the second hop, you want it to come up. Fisher was right there.
There's not a penalty on the play. First touch on the kicking team. Receiving team has elected to take it at the first touch. Davison, 1st and 10.
Oh, so it's not a penalty, Johnny, which I did not know. But once it's first touched by them, you're going to get the ball no matter what.
See, it's got to pass the 50. And
it's pretty close. Maybe about 9.5.
Yeah. And that was Joey Hawkins right there. So it looks like he hit him on the left shoulder pad. So now, if you're Davison, you got a short field to work with. They spot the ball at the 49-yard line. And now you're really asking this Walled Lake Western defense to stand firm.
You got them spread out in coverage when you go 3 by 1.
There's a hand up to A.J. Hill, getting lateral. Hill gets to the second level. Hill still on his feet. Tiptoeing the sideline. There are flags down. Hill finally goes out of bounds.
This living room, it's all going to come back because you're going to have an illegal blindside block against Davison. This is a rule that was put in about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's a good rule. Because if the player doesn't see you coming to block him, he's defenseless, and that's how you get people injured. And we're going to look here. It's going to come to you right of your screen, right there. Stop it. Boom. You can see it right here. That's just, he gets actually doubled. Never saw it coming. That's Joey Rochelle coming up, number 10. A nice run by A.J. Hill on the back end of this, though. Really? He's going to pick the flag up. Interesting.
Penalty on the play. The result of the play. Davison, 1st and 10.
You might watch football for the next 20 years and never see an official pick up on back-to-back penalty flags, pick it up and wave it off. So no penalty there. That's going to be a first down. And Davison now with the football at the 30-yard line with 1st and 10. A 28-point lead and a lot of time. Himmelein faked the handoff. Himmelein still with it, skipping his way down to the 20-yard line.
The only thing I can think of why they picked the flag up is if the receiver, the guy that got blocked, saw it coming. If they feel he had vision of it, if he saw it coming, then they would pick it up because then it's not a blind side.
We'd have to take another look at it. It did look like he had his eyes downfield. It was a pretty big hit, but it didn't look like it came by surprise. Get an opportunity, we'll try to show it to you one more time. As it is, 9 yards on first down from Braylen Himmelein.
Why is the clock? No one took a timeout. Shouldn't the clock be running?
You're right on that. A.J. Hill. A.J. Hill. A.J. Hill. Flag comes in late. Hill takes it in. We'll see what it is.
We're going to have a hold downfield. They may get number 14, Papadakis, on a hold.
We're going to get this thing sorted out.
You know, Davison does such a good job at the second level of blocking.
Yeah, they are going to walk it back, so rather than another touchdown for that young man, A.J. Hill, they're going to take it off the board and march it back 10 yards. Jake Weingart's looking for a little better explanation as the Walled Lake Western student section lets him know.
On the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. The end of the play still results in a...
Yo, you can't do that chant.
We're going to see right there, number 1, that's Flowers. I think they're okay with him. There's 14 up in the left as he goes by, and he hangs on. That's a pretty good call. That is holding. Wherever you look, when the guy is falling away from you, you still have him. There's no way you can be pushing him and have him. That means you're hanging on. Good effort by Papadakis, but that's going to get called on you. Now Davison with another chance here. Still 1st and 10.
We'll go 4 receivers wide one more time. Hand off to A.J. Hill. Hill being patient. Still fighting, leaning right at about the 10-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down.
You know, my daughter Olivia's up here with us, and she goes, kind of looks at me, she says, he's really good, Dad. And I said, and he's a sophomore. Let's not forget that. Number 6 is only in 10th grade. He's going to be a really outstanding running back, put a little meat under his bones because he has that natural gift, Johnny. He has that feel that all good running backs have. He feels pressure from the defense, where it's coming from, how to avoid tackles. He has nice speed. Just needs get a little bit bigger there. He is 5'11", 180.
Remember, we first saw him last year. Jalen Flowers was hurt the first 4 weeks of the season, so that was when he got an opportunity to start as a freshman. Invaluable experience. Approaching 3 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Davison looking for more. Play action, swings it out. Looking for Flowers, not there. Not this time.
All RPO game when you've seen Davison offensively now. Every play they're running is an RPO with a run-pass option by Himmelein, the quarterback. He's reading it truly. And Coach Weingart's talked about his offense with us, Johnny. He said, we will let Himmelein call everything at the line. We have a package where he can go this play or that play, but however they defend us with the front, he reads it, he calls the play at the line, and then as the play develops, he reads the RPO properly and either hands it off or throws it. Said he's a sponge. When you're in film with him, he says that this quarterback is a sponge. He wants to know everything all the time.
This time Himmelein under center. Hands it off, Flowers. Flowers looking for the edge around the left side. Jalen Flowers, touchdown. Davison Cardinals one more time. Woo-wee.
Hanging a 42 spot on him with this conversion in the first half. This has been a dominating performance. I think this can turn some heads in the Division I world. I know Catholic Central took them out early in the season, but they got some young players on this Davison team, and they seem to really have taken that loss to heart and have improved dramatically since that time.
We talked about the speed of Henry Karstafen. They said Jalen Flowers in short bursts, he's got to be the fastest kid on the team. That's now 10 rushing touchdowns on the season. Came in today averaging just under 100 yards on the ground per game and finds the end zone one more time. And Walled Lake Western is in the deep end.
Yeah. And you're going to see what happens is when you start beating a team physically up front, everything up here gets congested. All Flowers is going to do is he's going to see it as everyone comes in and squeezes it, let it go. All the linebackers, all the safeties comes inside, and then that's just, I'm a little bit faster. I'm able to find the edge. And I'm going to finish it off. If you're going to come to give me a little bit of extra hit in the end zone, I'm going to give you a little bit of my own. That's a physical player. And right now, Davison is feeling quite confident because they have handled this team. The Warriors of Walled Lake have struggled here tonight. And now Coach Soroch is going to find out what his kids are made of, not just tonight here in the second half, but starting next week when they come back to practice. After taking a licking now, how do you respond? You rise up, you take the challenge, let's get better, where do we lack? Or do you kind of start saying, well, maybe we're not that good, maybe we're not what we thought we were. And I got a feeling this team will make some noise when it gets to the end of the year in the Division III playoffs.
Davison will be kicking the football away to Walled Lake Western. Last time they did that, we saw Jackson Lippert go 99 yards to the house. They could use it again. This time they decided to steer it, and that was going to go out of bounds. Lippert was in the vicinity, but this one's going to go out of bounds, and Western's going to get an opportunity to take it at the 25. And coming up at halftime, Mickey York and Lauren Plant are in studio. They're going to have updates from all around the great state of Michigan. They're going to preview what's coming up on the Overtime Show, powered by State Champs. And you can hear about an opportunity for any student interested in a career in media with the Great Lakes Broadcast and Sports Media Academy in December at Ford Field. It's really an awesome program being put on by the MHSAA and the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. You won't want to miss getting those details coming up at halftime. And Viato trots back out.
You know, we look at this job, we think, it's kind of difficult. You're trying to keep track of names and numbers, the game is flowing. What the guys do in the overtime show? They get all that video coming in. They have very little time to look
Reading
at
highlights
it.
cold.
Reading highlights, writing script.
That's
a
Mickey
difficult.
York. I mean, it's Mickey York.
That's why he's the GOAT.
You know, he wakes up and
he wakes up writing.
Wakes up ornery and writing. No, they do a great job. I look forward to that show. Halftime, of course, coming up on the Overtime Show after the game. Pass on first down is incomplete, as Viato was looking on the outside, looking for Bailey. So Drew Viato, two-year captain. Your coach says the two things that separate him, leadership and selflessness. And he's got a lot of leading here to do tonight if Walled Lake Western wants to get back in this football game. Can't do it all on his own. Don't mean to be unfair to the senior quarterback, but they need a spark. And they got it from Jackson Lippert last time on special teams. We'll see if they can get a punch in another score here before the end of the first half. Never know. Viato looks to the sideline. Looks like they're going to check out of it. Viato back to pass. And that ball sails. Jackson Lippert was his intended target. And Lippert remains down.
Yeah, that was a non-contact injury, whatever it is. I think Lippert was just running a little quick slant, and then he fell down like...
See the training staff coming out to take a look at number 17, Jackson Lippert, and working on his
could be a cramp.
Left leg.
Yeah,
could
looks
be
like
a cramping situation.
I've seen a lot of cramps this year. It's really, you know, not really a pleasant injury. Okay, he's right here on the outside as he goes inside. Oh, yeah, leg's starting to cramp on him right there. Look at him. He's trying to run. Oh, they're lucky they didn't get intercepted. Yeah. You're not faking that now. That is legit. You could see that it just grabbed him. Lippert tries coming inside. Actually gets to running 99 yards with that kickoff now. See, he burned a lot of energy on that one.
Stay hydrated out there. Night like tonight. Cold, crisp night.
Have you ever had cramps in the leg?
Absolutely.
They're
right
brutal.
there.
They are brutal.
Lower left, Charlie Horse.
Yeah, they grab
the calf.
It grabs you. You could see as he went down. That's nothing he could do about that. Jackson Lippert.
And you can see the drive summary for Walled Lake Western here to start this football game. Not ideal. 5 punts.
I think they only have 38 total yards offensively.
Darius Taylor lines up in the slot.
A lot of movement up here. They're showing like they're going to bring pressure. Let's see if they cover. No, they're going to just rush 4.
Viado overthrew it. He's looking for Taylor there.
Nice job by Davison stemming defensively. They show 6-7 up on the line of scrimmage. Johnny making Wall Lake up front think, okay, they're going to bring pressure, but on the snap they fall out of it. Rushing 4, covering with 7. Nowhere for Viado to go with the football.
So that's going to bring up 4th down. Drew Viado back to punt once more. It'll be the 6th time he'll be asked to punt. And that man, Buddy Williams, caught the old halfback pass for Davison earlier in this quarter. Viado puts it away. Williams going to have an opportunity with it. Williams, shifty, gets up to the 42-yard line. That's where Davison will take over. The hometown showdown is a chance for your high school to be crowned the best Football Fridays fan base. You can vote now in the weekly poll on the Bally Sports Detroit Twitter page. The winning school gets bragging rights and more. Poll closes on Monday. Bally Sports Detroit Football Fridays are presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. You remember what it was like when you were playing high school ball?
No.
Your student section? You know,
student section.
Huh? Look at this. I mean,
we only had like 400 kids in our school.
I mean, take a look at this.
Oh no, that's great. Yeah,
this is great. You know what is that? Is that your carry-on? Is that Rube's carry-on?
That's just for my makeup.
Is that a Samsonite or? You gotta track that thing down, man. Hey, never leave your luggage unattended, for crying out loud. Handoff. Look at A.J. Hill. Bounces to the outside. Hill through the ankle tackle. Tries cutting back. He's at the 30. And Hill brought down right there.
Hill's starting to put up some big numbers here in the first half. We're going to look here. There's really not much here. This isn't a good ad-lib. We give the offensive line a lot of love. Let it go. You're going to see Hill. He gets it. A little pin and pull maybe. No, he just makes the first defender miss, the second defender miss. And here comes number 3. Bailey has a shot. He can't get him. I don't know.
That puts him over 100 yards on the night.
Joystick out there right now. He's doing whatever he wants because a lot of the yards have been because the offensive line has really created nice seams. That time, that was pretty much an ad-lib on Hill's part.
101 yards rushing for A.J. Hill. His counterpart, Jalen Flowers at 97. This time, Himmelein. Karstaffen couldn't hold on to it. Incomplete. Had him. Henry Karstaffen almost had another one.
And one of the best balls that Himmelein has delivered. A good job on the play action. Held the defensive front, doesn't get pressure here. You're going to see the fake to Flowers that holds the defensive line. Going to his left foot, throws it back to the middle of the field. Geez, maybe a hair underthrown because he slowed down. But if he keeps running at full speed, maybe right out of the end zone too. So Himmelein keeps him in the field of play. Thinks he has it. Well, I tell you, he has played well. He has thrown the ball well. Had a couple missed early in the game, couple biggies. But overall, he's putting the ball where they have an opportunity, the receivers, to catch it.
So Aiden Branoff in coverage. Decent coverage this time. Right at the sticks. That was Braylen Naves, the sophomore, with his first catch of the night. Going to be brought down to the 20-yard line. Tough to bring down was Braylen Naves. Might get a chance to see some other guys get opportunities here.
You're going to see Naves is just going to come on here. He's going to sit down inside. All right, let it go. There's nothing there, and it's just no one in coverage. You can see with the ball fake, and then he just sits down in the soft part of the zone. That's just take candy from a baby for Davison right now, and Himmelein doing a good job with the reads.
You would never. Minute and a half remaining.
Candy?
Second
No,
quarter.
chocolate? Definitely.
That is candy.
No, it's
Chocolate's
not. Chocolate's chocolate.
How about this? Tion Armstrong. Nothing there. Spins around. How about back to the outside? Tion Armstrong down to the 13-yard line. Shifty. Approaching 1 minute to play. Davison looking for more.
We saw a lot of talent, Johnny. You did the Cass Tech King game with me, correct? And we saw a lot of talent on that field, but this Davison team at the skilled positions, they're pretty good. They got some. You call it, you can win it with the X's and O's.
Sure.
You got some Jimmys and Joes out there, some guys, the name that can play, and they have that. Wow, they got a lot of playmakers at all positions.
Himmelein sprinting to his left. This one throws it into the turf. That's going to bring up 3rd down. 30.1 remaining in the second quarter. Jake Weingartz.
Well, I got a
shoulder shrug.
Coaches always go into the halftime and they find something to chew their team out about that we got to get better. Good luck, Coach Weingartz. I'm not saying it's a perfect half, but it's been a dang good half if you're the Davison Cardinals. Coaching staff and the fans and the players, they got to be very pleased with what they put on the field here tonight.
They might go hockey line change to start the 3rd quarter.
It's going to be running clock.
Yep. You say, hey, let's give some big game experience to some of our underclassmen. Right now, they want to finish the first half in style as the Warriors student section continues to party. Ball's on the canvas and able to fall on top of it is A.J. Hill. Whew. Almost turned the football over. Clock continues to run. See if Davison.
I think you kick a field goal in this situation. I think you just for practice, if nothing else, let the clock run down, bring your kicker out.
So it looks like they're content to let this thing wind down. No, they'll call it down. Their 3rd and final timeout right now. So on 4th down, you say experience for the kicker.
Absolutely. And your snapper, your long snapper, your protection up front. I don't think this is considered. It's still the first half. Now, if you're doing this at the end of the game, I'd have a big issue with it.
Sure.
But in the first half, everything's fair yet. There's no running.
Play the situation.
Yeah, you play the situation.
Play
We're playing. Yeah, you play this very good. I like that. Did you make that up? You've heard that. No, you play this, and you do. And right now, this situational football, opportunity to get your field goal team out there. You don't know. You get into the playoffs sometime, you may have to come down this situation where you need to make a kick from 30 yards to win a game.
Yeah, ball's at the 13 right now, so you're right at it. Brady Titsworth, the senior kicker right there. Brady looks on. So this was what we would consider ideal. Not the first play, and not the first drive of the football game, but ever since then, they rectified the situation. 6 straight touchdowns for the Davison Cardinals. And look at those times of possession. Good night. Here comes Titsworth with an opportunity. Bryce Fortune, the long snapper. And a 30-yard field goal for the Cardinals. Brady. Perfect. Good snap. Good hold. Good kick. And Davis takes a 45-7 lead into the half on the road against one of the top teams in Division III. Heck, one of the top teams in the state of Michigan. They came in ranked 10th among all classes, unbeaten at 5-0, but now Davison, with just the one blemish, has its eyes set on a return trip to Ford Field. And it certainly has introduced themselves in a big way here to the Warriors crowd.
Well, every coach will tell you the perfect half has never happened to them, but that's pretty close if you're Davison. Really nice job offensively, defensively. The pass rush was there, the running game was there, the RPO game was there, the deep game was there. Just doing a really, really fine job.
And we'll be hearing from head coach Jake Weingartz here momentarily. Now, if you're Coach Soroch at Walled Lake Western, is there much that you have to say, Coach?
No, you're going to go in there and just say, fellas, that's a butt whooping. Okay, now how do you respond? What are we going to do? We're going to come out. Are we going to play? We're going to be physical. We're going to run the football. We're going to try to establish what we could not establish in the first half.
Let's get it downstairs to Natalie Kerwin. Nat.
here with Coach Weingartz now. Coach, up 5 touchdowns and a field goal. How nice was it to establish that momentum early and really get your offense going?
Yeah, offense played good, but I think the biggest thing we did in the first half was limit their great tailback, and obviously in offense has been averaging 50-plus points a game. Defense played great, but obviously, as we all know, the old adage, it's a 4-quarter game. But, kids came out, executed a couple gimmick plays that we've been working on for a long time, which was good. They've been begging to run them. And, obviously a good team effort in the first half. A little mishap on special teams. We had them, down on the 15-yard line, and we don't wrap up. Everybody else stops playing, and then that's what happens. He goes 100 yards and scores. So, obviously, we can't have that if we want to be a championship for that team.
Well, you talk about your defense being able to hold Darius Taylor to no points right now up on the board, but how proud are you of their effort, being able to go out there and make those stops?
Yeah, they've heard about the stats, 1,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, and I say, hey, listen, guys, this is what you want. You want a challenge, and you got it. So, up to this point, they've done a great job. We just got to finish this thing out.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Johnny?
I appreciate it, Nat. Appreciate Coach Weingartz there. As you mentioned, no coach is 100% pleased with what his team does through one half of play, but certainly with Weingartz, got to be appreciative of what he saw. Papadakis getting it done, Carstarphin reaching back, and Buddy Williams finding the end zone, Jalen Flowers. It's been a party for the Cardinals here on the road. We're at the half. Davison up 45-7.
Football Fridays on Bally Sports is brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first, and by Lead Prep Academy Football, a postgraduate high school program for football and basketball student athletes. Halftime between Davison and Walled Lake Western, and it's a wallop right now, 45-7 in favor of Davison at the half as we welcome you inside our high school football headquarters. I am Mickey York, joined by Lauren Plant from State Champs. And Lauren, we have got a jam-packed slate of games again to cover here tonight.
They can't even keep the Chiron up on the score. It's been changing at such frequency for Davison.
That's right.
Very impressive. Let me tell you, Football Fridays Overtime is powered by State Champs, and we get started immediately following Davison and Walled Lake Western, which could have a running clock, so it could be sooner than you think. But we're going to have games from as many corners of Michigan as possible. Let's check in on a couple right now. Let's make our way to one of the big games of the night, the biggest game in River City at a.k.a. Grand Rapids. Division 4's #1 Grand Rapids South Christian meeting Division 5's Top Gun, 3-time defending state champ, 1 in D4, back-to-back in D5, Grand Rapids Catholic Central. South Christian with the razzle-dazzle, the double reverse pass back to the quarterback, Jacob DeHaan. We're going to have updates in the second half of this game from this dogfight, and it is a dogfight. Right now, late in the game, 28-21, South Christian is leading, and there are ramifications because the GRCC win streak is at 42. With a win, the Cougars 43rd to be the 4th longest at MHSA history, but it's in jeopardy.
As good as advertised so far between those two teams. A battle of ranked teams in Macomb County tonight. Number 6, Dakota, paying a visit to number 20, Romeo. The host Bulldogs trailing 14-0. When Jaden Roberson finds Ben Turner, he turns it up the field for a 56-yard touchdown just before the end of the first half to bring the home crowd to life. Right now, the score there in the fourth quarter is 21-14. That happened fast.
That happened real fast. All right, that's just the tip of the iceberg, guys. We're going to get you out to the capital area where East Lansing looked to tighten their stranglehold in the CAAC versus Lansing Everett. Newsflash, they did. Huge ramifications in the LCAC tonight. We're going down to Southern Monroe County between two unbeatens in Clinton and Dundee. Clinton getting it done, as you can see. Plus a look in on the 2 ranked squads in the SEC Red as Ann Arbor Huron visited number 14, Dexter. You see what Dexter did there. On the other side, number 13, Saline, all over Ann Arbor Pioneer. That one on the road.
Over in the Detroit Public School League tonight, the Detroit Central over Northwestern 45-6. Plus later on tonight, we'll have highlights from Dante Moore's Martin Luther King squad hosting Renaissance. Birmingham Seaholm all over Troy tonight, 45-0 as they play in the fourth quarter. What a turnaround it's been for Seaholm, who was 1-8 a year ago. And then two huge games out of the OK Gold Division tonight. Granville on the road at Rockford. It is Rockford up 37-14. Actually, that just went final. And we showed you the highlights just a moment ago. More from South Christian and Grand Rapids Catholic Central coming up on Overtime later tonight. Right now, though, our score at halftime in Wall Lake. Davison all over the Warriors right now, 45-7 the score at the half. And up next, we'll tell you about a chance for high schoolers and college students to get a look into the world of sports broadcasting. We'll tell you how next. The MHSAA football finals aren't the only big event at Ford Field later this year. The Great Lakes Broadcast and Sports Media Academy will take place on December 7th at Ford Field from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's a collaboration between the Michigan Association of Broadcasters and the MHSAA, helping students launch careers in media. Full registration is $25 per person and includes morning snacks, educational sessions, speed networking, lunch, a keynote address, and a career fair. Visit michiganmedia.com today to register. So the assignment tonight is conducting an interview with a man that's hosting an event for kids that want to take my job. I'm not exactly sure this is the best idea for job security, but if you want some, come get some, youngins. Joining us is Sam Clement, the president and CEO of the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. This sounds like a tremendous event. How did all of this come about?
You know, post-COVID, we were trying to find new ways to get students engaged with our industry. And we used to do this event and career fair at a community college, and there just wasn't as much excitement for that. So to partner with the Lions and to bring an event to Ford Field and just to talk about the opportunities in our industry, not just what's on air, but behind the scenes as well, we think is a really special opportunity.
Is there any reason for me to feel insecure about this event?
I think you should be okay.
I'm okay?
Yeah, I think you'll be all right for a while.
I'm slightly concerned, but I'll trust you on that. You have a ton of different panels available, led by professionals in the industry. What are you hoping students can get out of those and the event as a whole?
The biggest thing is just know that there's a spot for them in this industry and that it takes a lot of work, but you can have a path to a long, successful career. And we're going to have people, particularly some of our younger broadcasters, tell them what they did early on in their careers to get established and to really kind of climb the ranks. And as I mentioned, it's not just those that are on air. We have some engineers that are talking about what they did to get there. People that are in sales, broadcast sales, that talk about the great opportunity there. So we're excited about the variety of our panel, and I think it'll inspire a lot of children to get involved.
I'm glad you mentioned the other facets of the business because contrary to popular belief, sports broadcasting is much more than just a couple of guys sitting in the booth or a studio fighting over a can of hairspray.
Absolutely.
How important is an event like this to showcase all the different opportunities in the industry?
Well, as you know, it's an ecosystem, right? That's how all of this comes together. The people behind the camera, the people that are selling the advertisements so that we can afford to have these programs on. And we want to talk about how there is an ecosystem for this. And I think that that's something that maybe people that just watch casually don't always understand. And so this is a way to expose people to a variety of different opportunities within our industry.
I've tried to tell people for years I do this all by myself and only by myself. It's all my fault. No, just kidding.
It's turned out all right.
It is an army. There's no question about it. A lot of talented people that work behind the scenes to make all this possible. If you are in high school and you're thinking about a career in broadcasting, what can someone do to get their feet wet? And in a business that is, as you mentioned, rapidly changing, how big is the need for people in the sports industry right now?
Oh, it's massive. And I should mention, this is an event not just for those getting into sports. So sports is obviously a part of it. Being at Ford Field, there's a natural fit there. But we want to talk about, there are opportunities for you to break into news or other avenues that aren't just sports. And sometimes you need that background to break into sports to be well-rounded. So there's a huge need in every aspect of our industry. And, for a high school student to get involved, I would say one, reach out to the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. We have a great internship and job bank, so we can help connect you. But two, I think it's just, look at some of the colleges and universities that offer these programs, and maybe we can help guide them that way.
Yeah, it's sensational. I wish this was around when I was in high school. It's been outstanding. Sam Clement from the Michigan Association of Broadcasters. Be sure to get down to Ford Field for this very important Media Broadcasting Academy. Meanwhile, in our game of the week, Walled Lake Western unbeaten coming into week 6, but Davison has gone on the road and dominated so far. The Cardinals scored on the opening drive and have not stopped. More from Walled Lake coming up next.
(45-7), Davison leads this football game here in Walled Lake, Michigan. Let's take a look at the first half stats. You can see Davison with 5 different players in on it tonight, in on the scoring action. 5 different players with a touchdown. Look at the total yardage. We talked so much about Darius Taylor coming into this football game.
How about this? We always talk about a stat that doesn't matter. Look at the time of possession.
Right.
That just proves it right there.
Yeah, Taylor with just 11 rushing yards, the talented running back for Walled Lake Western. So we'll see what they have here in store in the second half. They are going to be up against it. Clock is not their friend. We have a running clock situation. Jake Weingartz and Davison will be the beneficiary of having instituted this running clock. So it's a greater than a 35-point spread, so that'll run continuously. Obviously, timeouts, injuries, penalties, things of that nature, they'll stop it. But if this thing does balloon to 50 points, then it'll run continuously pretty much throughout.
Except for an injury. I mean, you could, if you're Walled Lake, you could take a timeout, and it would continue to run during a timeout as well.
But they will turn the running clock off if Walled Lake Western is able to get inside that 35-point window, which they could do with a touchdown here in the opening drive.
Well, it's time to get better. You regressed here if you're Walled Lake. You played well in the first 5 weeks of the season, and you haven't played well here tonight, so Coach Soroch can get them here to see if they get something positive out of this second half.
Yeah, the only score coming for the Warriors on special teams. That was the 99-yard kickoff return touchdown from the junior, Jackson Lippert. And Walled Lake Western, that was Ryan Boyce there on the return. They were going to lean on the broad shoulders of their senior signal caller, Drew Viato, headed to University of Minnesota next year, where he will room, as we told you earlier, with his star running back, Darius Taylor. Right now, they're not thinking about the dorms. They're thinking about cutting into this gap. And on the first play of the third quarter, it's a pitch play to Darius Taylor. Taylor running hard, picks up about 4 yards on the play.
Jumps
just
up
8 carries tonight.
Yeah, what jumps out when you look at this Davison defense against what Walled Lake's trying to do, what Western's trying to do, is the speed, the side-to-side speed, where I think Darius Taylor's had some chances when he got to the edge this year to be able to turn it vertical. There's just too many white shirts there now. I mean, people would say, well, look at his numbers. He played a good team. They're not very good. Well, I don't care who you are. If you're getting hit when you're getting the ball the majority of the time, at the same time, you're not going to do well. He's had very little space to operate.
This time, play action. They're going to get Viato rolling to his right. Viato puts it right on the money. Bailey's there. Bailey sheds a tackle. Bailey inside the 40-yard line, down to the 35. So a little something going here. Michael Bailey on the receiving end from Drew Viato. First down, Warriors.
A great job by Michael Bailey, not just grabbing the ball. Great job grabbing it. I tell people, don't catch it, grab it. He does. He grabs the football on this well-timed stop route on the outside, and a well-delivered ball, but he grabs it, and then he becomes the running back, making people miss, breaking tackles, getting down the field. We talked about Michael Bailey's prowess on defense. Well, that time he showed you he's a good two-way player.
Michael Bailey getting it done on both sides. Remember, he transferred in from the Ann Arbor area. First season with Walled Lake. Handoff to Taylor. Taylor around the right side, ridden out of bounds.
Well, we talked about Darius Taylor's ineffectiveness here tonight as a running back. A lot of that can be attributed to the offensive line and the offensive line's defense. Look at those bodies. Look at 95, 45, 99. I mean, they got some big, big men. Look at the weight, 6'1", 295. That is a MAC defensive tackle, number 95, Marlo Mahone. McGrill, rather, 6'2", 250, 240, 220. A lot of beef to be trying to move if you're that offensive line.
I thought the Hogs were,
Yeah, I wonder how
the Hogs are on offense. But that defensive line. And there, the end around Nowhere to go. Trying to get a little running room, but man, one more time. Carter Harriman there in on the stop. Number 32 in white, leading tackler in on another one. That one unassisted.
Harriman right here, get a look. He's going to read it. He's going to flow, and he's just going to get outside. He's reading the tackle. He sees him reach. Now he's going to start scraping with it. Finds a gap, gets up inside. Almost overruns it, but as any good linebacker would do, gets under control late and is able to pull down the smaller ball carrier.
Donovan Triplett was the ball carrier.
Now their best pass pattern has been the stop route. Attack with speed outside. You've seen them do this, then break it to the outside. That's really been their bread and butter play. The key is get that defensive back's hips open. Attack them with speed.
Nathan Fetch did a nice job picking up the block, but the pass is off target. And Viado.
That's it. That's the stop route we just diagrammed, Johnny. That exactly that. He drove them off with speed. That time they were unable to complete it, but that has been their best play. And a lot of it because of the pressure in his face. Dosh doing a good job getting in there. Also, Joe Smith, he's been kind of quiet here tonight, gets in on the play as well. You know, we haven't given much love, though. Over here, you got Yaya DeCooley. Yaya, number 2. You know why we haven't said his name much? Because they're not throwing at him. Right. That's usually a good sign when you're a defensive back, yes.
No question. This time, he's lined up opposite Ryan Boyce here on the near side of your screen. 4th down, Viado looking for Lippert. What a catch from Jackson Lippert inside the 10-yard line. No, they're going to say incomplete. Pass broken up. Lippert had it for a second.
What a throw, though. And almost a great catch. And that young man right there, you can't do it any better. Drew Viado. Let's hope Lippert's okay. He gets kind of...
He took a shot there
but the
at
corner
the
and the safety kind of met at the same time.
Ricky Diaz-Granados was in coverage, number 17 in white. Yeah, I thought Lippert had it for a second, but great job closing speed there for number 17. Diaz-Granados one more time comes in and just delivers the blow.
Yeah, and he's not a starter now. So he's in there maybe in a nickel. They bring him in a nickel situation, bring an extra defensive back on a 4th down and, what was it, 4th and 11, 4th and 12. So great job by Diaz-Granados.
Yeah, we're going to see, I think, nice to see Jackson Lippert able to come off.
Ooh, that's
a shot.
Well, how do you say Ricky's last?
Diaz-Granados.
Diaz-Granados. I'm going to get it correct. That's the one I did not go over coach with on the pronunciations. And I said, I've been doing this for 30 years, Johnny, and to this day I say the most important thing is I ever get a young analyst say, get the names right. And it's a difficult task when you go to these high schools. There's a lot of pronunciations, but a great example of that is between you and I staying with the quarterback. Because we talked to the PA guy, and he said, no, it's Viodo. And we talked. I went down to talk to Drew on the field. I said,
Tomato, Viado. Yeah. You know what I mean? Himmelein still in the ball game, rolling to his left. Himmelein up the sideline is going to pick up 6 yards on 1st down after the turnover on downs. And now a message from the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Returning AZ Plan lessees can order an F-150 today and lease it for $299 a month for 24 months. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first.
So Braylen Himmelein, the senior, still back in here to start the 3rd quarter. Might they eventually turn the controls over to the junior, Sawyer Glennie? Not at this juncture. 45-7, Davison leads. And they bring Flowers in motion. They hand it off to him on a jet sweep. No! Keeps it himself. Braylen Himmelein picks up the 1st down. Put it in the breadbasket, tucked it back. Picked up the 1st.
Well, this is definitely a read play. Let's watch. He's going to read. Let it go. You see, he's going to read the defensive end. He goes outside. He just pulls it. If the end's going to widen with the back in motion, you pull it and you tuck it up. And that time they did, so good job.
There's the backup quarterback, Sawyer Glennie, looking on. Saying, Coach, I'm ready if you need me now. Weingart says, I see you. Just worry about getting the signals in. You ever coach youth sports?
Oh, yeah.
Coach, I'm ready.
Yeah, me and
I'm not.
15 sets of parents at the same time.
There's a pass. Tion Armstrong went through his hands, and that'll bring up second down. Tough to please everybody. Armstrong's had a nice night. You know, all these receivers for Davison tonight. Getting involved in the action. We talk about 5 different players having a touchdown in this football game. Inside 5 minutes to play. Again, running clock. That's why this quarter is going by relatively quickly. And this will probably or likely be Himmelein's final series at quarterback. Hands it off. Jalen Flowers. Flowers still on his feet down to the 41-yard line. Close to a first down. That'll bring up 3rd and about 1.5 yards.
We talked in the open a little bit about a little thunder and lightning, and they've really proved us correct here tonight. We've seen the power that Flowers runs with, but we've also seen the speed and the agility outside that A.J. Hill has shown and the ability to make people miss in the open field. So just what a nice combo.
A great combo. Jalen Flowers. 10 touchdowns through now 6 games this season. Flowers gets it again. Look at that shifty lateral speed. Flowers gets to the edge. Throws a stiff arm inside the 30. Knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Aiden Branoff came up from the cornerback position to knock him out of bounds, but not before he picks up a first down.
Watch this. This is going to be called pin and pull. They're going to pull from the backside, and usually when this guy comes up, Johnny, you kick him out. But if he starts squeezing down, what you do is you pull and you just seal him. Let it go. So you're going to watch the guard comes outside here, and right, see how he seals him inside?
Yep.
When the defensive end wants to crash inside, you start running pin and pull. Instead of kicking him out, you've done all day. Now you seal him, so good job.
Thought you were drawing a swan. First down, Davison. Ball to 22-yard line, inside 3 minutes to play here in the 3rd. Fakes the handoff. Himmelein rolling left. Himmelein tucks it. Took a shot right at the sticks. And he's going to be a couple yards short. Michael Bailey came up and made the stop for that Warriors defense.
Yeah, and a good job. You talk about that defense with Joey Hawkins and Gavin Roberts on the back end with coverage. They were like glue on the receivers, and that's why Himmelein had no choice but to tuck it and just try to get something that not much was there, and he's able to turn into a 7 or 8 yard gain. But hats off. They've done okay in the back end tonight. It's just the fact that when you can do both, when you can run and you can throw with effectiveness as Davison's done, it just puts so much pressure. They want safety help. You say, we need you in the run game. Well, then if you come up in the run game, they go behind you in the pass game.
On 2nd and 2, ball to 15-yard line. The fake to Hill. Out to Tion Armstrong. Armstrong, what a move! Takes it in for the touchdown. There is a flag. But Tion Armstrong, what a juke. Put his foot in the ground, turned upfield, got into the end zone, but hold the phone.
He's going to get a holding call. It's going to be a spot foul. That was filthy.
That was a great play.
That was so quick and so smooth.
We'll see here. You heard the referee mentioning.
Play, holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay 2nd down.
Let me tell you something about Tion Armstrong. You ready? He hadn't played football since his 8th grade year. Last year, coach gets him to come out. We're going to show you again where the hold is. But look at the juke. Coach got him to come out last year as a junior. What did he do, Bruce? First team All-League, led the league in receiving, catches, touchdowns. This season leads the team receptions, yards, 4 receiving touchdowns. Good basketball player, too. Tion Armstrong. Just getting it done. Himmelein throws one over the middle. Got his man fighting for a little bit of yardage. Braylen Naves, the sophomore, inside the 5-yard line.
They just roll another body up. We talked about Karstoffen, and we've talked about Armstrong, and then they just roll out Naves, and they just seems like you got Papadakis. You got a lot of them.
They got a lot of depth.
And Bryce, we talked about the big tight end. Bryce Fortune had a tight end, or a touchdown rather, early in the game.
That he did. A lot of talent on this team, no doubt about it. They'll have a say in Division I when it's all said and done. A.J. Hill met immediately, nowhere to go. Walled Lake Western defense came up, made a stop. And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter, where it'll be 2nd and goal for the Davison Cardinals, who hold on to a 45-7 advantage. Well, Himmelein, a lot of things have gone his way today. Putting on a performance. And this Walled Lake Western crowd, hey, break out the Johnson & Johnson. It's a party in Walled Lake. Scoreboard not indicative of the good time they're having here.
Welcome back into Walled Lake Western. Davison up 38 over the Warriors. Now, Walled Lake Western has a special day marked on their calendar each football season. It's their annual Pink Out Night, which isn't until October 21st, but I want to tell you about it now. This event is called Warriors for Warriors. It started back in 2011, and the head coach at the time had a vision to do what the NFL was doing with breast cancer awareness. Now, it even hits home for current head coach Corey Soroch, whose dad, Jim, was the honorary captain of that game last year. Players in the community are donned in pink, wearing special custom jerseys with the goal of generating funds for cancer awareness. So not only is this a special night for Corey Soroch, but also just special to the Walled Lake community.
That's amazing stuff. I mean, we talk about it all the time. It's, it's bigger than a game, and we talk about all the people that are involved in a program and at a school like this, and it's beautiful to see stuff like that.
It truly is, and what I like about the whole Pink Out thing is everyone can get behind it. Doesn't matter if you're 90 or you're 9.
Sure.
Everyone can get behind it. Everyone's been touched by it because, when you live long enough, you have a family and friends, you're going to deal with cancer at one time or another. So it's a really great thing for a community to do.
Yeah, looking forward to that coming up a little bit later in October. Appreciate that story, Natalie. Good stuff as always. Down there patrolling the sidelines and telling the stories of the kids in these different communities that we're able to go to on Friday nights as we start quarter number 4. And 2nd down. Himmelein still with it. Threw it. And nearly caught by Tion Armstrong. Juggled it for a minute. And it's going to be ruled incomplete. That's going to bring up 3rd and goal.
Really nice job by Himmelein, just being able to get the ball and get it out so quickly after the errant snap. Instead of taking a loss, it still leaves you on a third down and 5 on the 5. I'm thinking this will be the last we see of the starters of Davison here. This drive here, beginning of the 4th quarter.
And Weingart's barking out the signals. Got the mic pulled away from the...
Well, they got their power set. When I say that, you got the H-back and you have the fullback both in there.
That's A.J. Hill in the backfield. Yep. There's Hill following his blockers. A.J. Hill back into the end zone for the Cardinals. That 1-2 punch, they are interchangeable. You say a little thunder, a little lightning. A.J. Hill now came into tonight with 5 rushing touchdowns. He's added a couple here tonight.
Definitely not what I thought we would see tonight. I thought Davison was going to pull away in this game late just because of their size, physical size, and the level of competition they play each and every week. I think Walled Lake got out of their game plan early because of the quick scores that Davison had, Johnny, and they've been reeling ever since and just really haven't found any type of rhythm offensively.
So that was A.J. Hill's first rushing touchdown here tonight. He's over 100 yards. Jalen Flowers over 100 yards. He's got a couple of rushing touchdowns. So that dynamic duo getting it done, and it is now 52-7 Cardinals. It is time now for tonight's player of the game, brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford Dealers. Number 1 in your program, Jalen Flowers. 9 carries, 119, and 2 touchdowns here tonight. That was the first, Rubes. Here's the second.
Yeah, good job. I would pick him for the player of the game is because I think he had set the tone with his physical running inside and outside. He's the leader of this team, the senior running back. Obviously, A.J. Hill's done some fine things as well, the backup running back, but I really like it, him being the player of the game. Let's not forget, Himmelein has done a pretty good job, too.
He really has.
The ball and running the ball and orchestrating this RPO offense.
Really has. Jalen Flowers, going back to him for a second. Remember, he won a state championship in 2019 here. He was a contributor on that team that was loaded with talent, now getting an opportunity as one of the featured running backs as he looks to get back to the state championship game at Ford Field. A little contact here near the Walled Lake Western sideline. As Nick Thompson is ridden out of bounds. And Drew Viato, one more time, have an opportunity to come out. Again, we've seen Drew Viato. We talk about, obviously, his arm talent and his abilities to certainly project at the next level as a Big Ten quarterback. And here tonight, just they haven't been really able to find any type of rhythm or get into any type of sustained tempo.
And this
except
is
for the student section.
I'm sorry, John, but this is the perfect example that players don't win, or individual players, teams win. And this, you have a really good 11-man defense of Davison, 11-man offense, even though you have 2 tremendous players on the Walled Lake side.
And that first down reception that'll move the chains.
Well, Coach Siroch is going to have to rebound here. You see all the wins. This one has not been good here. Obviously, the Davison one. But you got Waterford Mott, that's very winnable. Kettering's winnable, and Walled Lake Central. So I'm looking at, they will probably run the table and go into the playoffs at 8-1, which means they're likely to host a game with the points they have. Because they're going to get, like I said, even though we talked the open about if they lose this game, they're going to get a lot of points from this Davison team.
Yeah, the student body here at Walled Lake will be fired up if they get to host a playoff game. I promise you that much. There's Chase Schwerking on the first down reception, and now reaching back to pass. Viato just overthrew it. And he was looking for Jackson Lippert one more time.
Well, they've done a good job, they being Davison, and moving Viato off his spot. When you have a true drop-back quarterback, a big kid like Viato is, if you can move him and make him try to be uncomfortable, make him try to throw on the move in the pocket, it's a big advantage. And we saw that on the last play where he just really missed the receiver. But he's all of 6'4". I was on the field before the game. He's a big body Q.
This time they pitch it to the outside. And Triplett, the running back. Not much doing.
I think we saw the last of Darius Taylor for the night, and I think that's very wise on Corey Siroch. His part to get his star out of the game, keep him healthy. Like I said, we just went over their schedule. He's got 3 games ahead of him before the playoffs start, and you want a healthy Darius Taylor heading in. As you look at Darius on the sideline, not the night he was hoping for, or probably even expecting, but sometimes these type of games can help you become a better running back than if you rush for 200 yards, because you kind of learn a little bit about yourself, about your team, and what you need to do maybe to try to avoid this from happening again.
Number 2 ranked running back in the state of Michigan. Only Dexter's Cole Cabana rated higher according to the rankings. And on 3rd and 6, Viato steps through. The flag comes in. He avoided the pressure and right at the sticks. It will be a first down if it holds. If it isn't, hold.
You said it. Yeah, there you go. It's going to be a holding call on the interior line of Walled Lake, and well thrown ball that time, stepping up in the pocket by Drew Viato.
That'll negate the reception from Chase Schwerking. They'll bring up 3rd and long now. So Division III will be interesting to see how it shakes out. I'll go to Division I here for you because we've had a chance to obviously see some Division I teams play this year. Davison at their skill positions, I like what I've seen. I don't see too many teams that necessarily
they'll
better
match
than
up
they
well, right? Because they can roll 2 backs at you, they can roll 3-4 receivers, but they also have those physical linebackers on defense, which helps you. And offensively, I think the quarterback is getting better each and every week.
Viato steps up in the pocket and swallowed up by that Davison defense once again. Big number 98 stepping through. That was Connor Cherney, the junior, in the ball game, and Logan Coleman, number 91. Both of them in hot pursuit and able to bring down the quarterback. And on 4th and long, Viato steps back to punt this one away.
Logan Honeycutt, who's replaced Brady Williams, has been back there, or Buddy Williams rather, has been back there quite a bit.
And late substitution for Walled Lake Western. Again, just pinned back too deep in their own end zone to try to take a chance here. And that's a pretty nice punt from Viato. And Honeycutt comes up to field it at the 34-yard line. We're going to take a short timeout here. 6:02 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Davison Cardinals, they look good. Football Fridays on Bally Sports Detroit are brought to you by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first. Let's go downstairs, check in one more time with Natalie Kerwin. Nat?
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. It's common for most high school coaches to have a different day job before throwing on the whistle. A lot of them are even teachers or work office jobs. But the defensive line coach for Davison, he's a farmer. Let me introduce you to Zachary Wagner. He grew up on a farm. He works now for DeBuck's Sod Farm. This guy gets up at 4 a.m., works all day, and books it to practice. And the best part, he goes right from the farm to the field. Full gear work boots, the full 9 yards. The kids love him. Coach Weingartz does too. Loves his dedication to the grind. I gotta say, I respect it too. And Rubes, do you think you could pull off the farmer look? I think you could.
No, I don't have enough Carhartt clothing, but I'll tell you this. Big fan of farmers. You know why? Because I love to eat.
Yeah, you do.
Whether they're cattle farmers or they're growing crops, I'm a big fan.
No, I love that. Zach Wagner got himself a clean shave for tonight's football game, but no, I love that. A little multitasking. We do love our farmers. Real talk on that. Grew up in a rural community myself. We are inside 6 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Davison with the football and new quarterback into the ball game. Sawyer Glennie, the junior. Hand the football off to Gavin Elmquist. As Jake Weingartz looks on. So it'll be 2nd and 15. There's Sawyer Glennie. 6'2", 185, getting an opportunity. Likely this will be his program to guide and direct 1 year from now. Invaluable opportunity right now, playing against a quality opponent, Walled Lake Western.
See him working the play clock. Wait for the official, the back judge, to hold his arm up at 10. And there we see it.
Glennie hands the football off. Davison running hard. That's Nicholas Pung. Number 34 checking into the ball game. He's a senior.
Got some new bodies in for Davison. I see Alex Holmes, number 65, 6'5", 230-pound junior. Left tackle is in the game now.
There you go.
It's a good-looking body there now. You also see number 58 in the game. Ronnie Myers, a sophomore, 6', 260. So Jake Weingartz isn't running short of big bodies to roll in there next year when he loses some of his senior offensive linemen.
Just spoken from experience, anytime you get a chance to play in these big games, you know, this isn't the first big game Davison has obviously had on the calendar when you talk about non-league matchups. As Glennie drops back to pass, that one overthrows his target, but you look at the non-league schedule. So they have Clarkston in the battle with the Big House, week 1, then CC, which is their only blemish, then TC Central. And talking with Coach Weingart, said, you know, there's no point in playing a soft schedule, and then you get to the first week of playoffs, and you're not ready to face that level of competition. You got to beat the best. To be the best, you got to beat the best. Isn't that it?
Yeah, and in the conference, he also Grand Blanc, who made a run last year. They're not quite the same team this year, and then Lapeer is undefeated, who they just beat up Grand Blanc tonight. So yeah, he has Lapeer yet, who's a very good offensive team. It's not a good matchup for Lapeer because defensively, they have some holes. And obviously this Davison team, if you have holes on your defense, they will expose them. Oh, yeah.
Glennie kicks it away. Beautiful punt from Sawyer Glennie, and that one's going to be fair caught.
First punt of the night, I believe, for Davison.
Hey, you want to stay with us after the game because Mickey York and Lauren Plant of state champs will recap all of tonight's Michigan high school football action from around the state. Now that post-game reaction from here at Walled Lake Western, that's coming up on Football Fridays Overtime, powered by state champs. Bally Sports Detroit Football Fridays are brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And after this ball game, Rubes and I are going to be heading down to the field and talk with Coach Weingartz. Natalie Kerwin will catch up with a couple of the players from Davison as well. You can catch all that on the OT Overtime show coming up immediately following our broadcast. Hours long of highlights, unscripted, ad-libbing. Mickey York, sweet spot. He loves it. Lives for it. Back to pass. Viato over the middle. Got Bailey right about the 45-yard line as his forward progress was stopped. Approaching 2 minutes to play in this football game. So Davison's going to move to 5-1 on the season.
Yep, they will. And right now they got a lot of young guys. I see Braylen Wells, number 20 in the game. I see number 32 at safety. That's not 32. Carter Harriman, 31 rather. Connor Bond.
Fresh faces getting a chance. Viato, good pass to the sideline. Be a back-to-back first down. That time, Donovan Triplett. We saw Triplett getting a couple carries out of the backfield. Now he gets his first reception of the night.
These are all twos you see for Davison in the game. I'm trying to get some number 37s in the game. Rather not 30. That's Seth Hopkins, a 6 foot, 130-pound junior. Wide receiver DB. There's a good look at Seth. There's number 15 as well. We know Jalen Edwards does play some H-back on offense.
Viato, flush from the pocket, reaches back, got his man one more time. First down, Walled Lake Western. That's number 14. Austin Ryback, the junior, inside a minute to play.
Well, they're having their way right now offensively. This, you know, I think, you know, you look at Drew Viato, probably think, man, I wish these guys were playing through the first three quarters too. But there's a reason that ones are ones and twos are twos.
Viato.
Wow.
Oh, what a catch.
Beautiful catch.
Hey, okay. You know, he's Chase Schwerking with another grab, showing the hand.
He's had 2 or 3 really nice catches.
He had the one that was called back. It'd be his third. They didn't have that holding penalty, brought one back.
He's just take a timeout. Coach Roach took a timeout.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to, finish this game the right way. Coach Roach calls timeout. Can't take him home. Time for our Menards big money moment. And here it is. A little trick play action. We call it the old skip pass. Himmelein. Karstarfen.
You know, this is something new because this wasn't used on grass fields back in the day when I played now. you couldn't get a nice
skip it off the
hop
pellets
like that. That was a beautiful hop.
That's a beautiful thing. Look at Buddy Williams.
Oh.
Track speed. That's a great ball from Henry Karstarfen, right?
Yeah. I wonder that open as Buddy was.
Buddy
the elf.
Love to see it.
Good reason. I mean, we don't. Come on. Love. You got to love elf.
But yeah, okay. Hope you find your dad. Yeah, great movie. Viato into the end zone. Touchdown, Walled Lake Western. Chase Schwarking on the receiving end. Have a night. On a night when not too many things have gone in their favor. Here in a running clock in the second half. Good way to end it here for the crowd that stuck around to watch the finish of this ball game as Viato hit Chase Schwarking. We had a big second half for the Warriors.
You can see the skill, even though I know he's thrown against twos and Schwarking was getting against the backups of Davison, but you can see the arm skill that Viato has. There's no question he can make all the throws. He just really didn't have any time tonight. He was under pressure, under duress for the entire evening, and just couldn't get anything going offensively. You look at this, they're going to have 14 points. Well, one is on late in the game against Davison's second string. The other one was on a kick return. So
sure.
It's going to be back to drawing board a little bit. But, the teams are going to play in the remainder of the year are not at this caliber they're seeing here tonight. So he'll be fine. Here's a good look at Coach. He'll regroup them and get them ready for next week.
As you mentioned, next week they travel to Waterford-Mott, which would be a winnable game for this team. But certainly back to the drawing board. And again, sometimes a game like this, and especially with, we talk so much about Darius Taylor and how good of a player he is, and how they'll bounce back, how he'll bounce back next week, how Viato will bounce back, and how this whole Warriors team will bounce back as they try to finish the season the right way. They still have everything in front of them. Again, in Division III, they got hit in the mouth here tonight repeatedly against a Division I powerhouse. Another look at it here, Roops.
That's a good throw. He kind of gives some air and allows a 6'6" Working to make a play on it. He sees the pressure and he knows he's just got to get it up. And what he does, he puts enough air on it. It allows Schwarking to have a little bit of movement and adjust to the throw.
And that'll be that, 52-14, your final score here at Warrior Stadium. And Davison now, you got to figure that Saginaw Valley League South, these guys are tough customers. Everybody's going to take a look at the OT show here tonight when they get home and say, wait a sec, Davison did what?
It's going to
I think they were favored in this game, but, I don't think anybody really saw it, quite, to this extent. They were to put on a show the way they did, but certainly impressed with the skill position players that they have, and certainly the guys in the trenches, which you highlighted all night long, Rubes, those big guys.
That's where it all began. We talked to the keys for Davison on Rubik's Cube. We look at the defensive key was seventh heaven. And that front seven, you tell me they didn't control this game defensively.
I'm with you on that, partner. It was a fun one to call alongside you. Always appreciate being with you. Davison, much the best here tonight. Final score in our Football Fridays game of the week. Davison Cardinals 52. Walled Lake Western Warriors 14. But don't go anywhere. Our Football Fridays coverage continues with Mickey York and Lauren Plant. Take it away, guys.
All right, Johnny, thanks. Coming up tonight on the OT, back out to Walled Lake for post-game reaction from Western and Davison. That was a shocker. And oh, baby, do we have some major matchups tonight. Macomb, Dakota at Romeo and the Livonia City Championship between Stevenson and Franklin.
That is not all. Of course, huge games out west and up north. The top teams in Division 4 and Division 5 go toe-to-toe in Grand Rapids. Did the longest winning streak in the state survive? And we'll take you to the shores of Lake Charlevoix for as good a rivalry as any. Those games and much, much more. Football Friday Overtime, powered by State Champs, starts after the timeout.